Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto isolates himself from his family part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. To-san, daddy. To-san. I did it. Did you see that? Did you? Cheered a girl who looked 8 years old. She had bright long red hair with yellow around the end of her hair, bright ocean blue eyes, and had a round face. She was about 3 feet 1 inch. Sorry, don't really know how tall 8-year-old are. She wore a red t-shirt and combat pants. That was great, Narumi-chan. Appalled a man with spiky blonde hair with 2 long bangs down the side of the face. He had ocean blue eyes and an angular face. He was more handsome than most males. He wore a dark blue long sleeve shirt and black sweatpants. Stood about a height of 5 feet 10 inches. This man was Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage of Konoha and the Yellow Flash of Konoha. At the moment, Minato was watching his daughter train. The girl now known as Narumi was the daughter of both Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. She looked like an exact copy of her mother with the exception of her blue eyes and the yellow strands that outline her hair, and the fact that she is younger. Narumi smiled and continued her training on sensing her chakra and calling it out. She just started training with chakra and her dad was teaching her how to control it. Great job, Narumi-chan, you will be a great kunoichi in no time, said a redhead who just came in when she saw her daughter call out her chakra. She stood at a height of 5 feet 8 inches, had maroon hair, and a heart-shaped, angelic face. She wore a hair clip on her hair, wore a red t-shirt and sweatpants. She had a body of a goddess that would make any male or female die of a nosebleed. With long, slender arms and legs, and an impressive bust ranging from C-cups to D-cups. This woman was Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, wife of Minato Namikaze and Konoha's Red Death. Thanks, Mom. I can't wait until I become a great kunoichi like you, replied Narumi with a smile. Both Minato and Kushina smiled at their child energy and attitude. In the distance stood a boy who was the same age as Narumi. He had wild spiky blonde hair that went everywhere, electric blue eyes, and a round face. He stood about the height of 3 feet 5 inches, and at the moment was wearing a gray t-shirt and sweatpants. He looked like any normal healthy kid, but one thing different about him was the 3 whisker marks on each side of his face. His name is Naruto Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, an older twin brother of Narumi Namikaze. At the moment, Naruto was glaring at the nice family scene that was happening at the family private training area. Naruto just sighed and walked away, into his room where he did training of his own. When Naruto got into his room, he laid down on his bed and remembered what happened a long time ago that made him to be what he is now. Flashback 3 years ago. Hey To-san, can you teach me how to do some cool ninja stuff? Asked the young blonde Naruto, who was hoping his dad would say yes. Sorry Naruto, I can't. I have to teach Narumi, replied Minato. Naruto frowned. Why can't you teach both of us at the same time? Argued Naruto, ignoring the smug look his sister was giving him. Sorry Naruto, I don't have time to do that. Naruto was going to respond with his father until his mother came in. Naruto, go to your room and don't bother your father. He will teach you when he feels that you are ready, said Kushina in a demanding voice. Naruto, not wanting to argue with his mother, looked at the ground and walked to his room. Why can't I learn how to be a shinobi but Narumi can? How come she gets everything? Said Naruto out loud to himself when he reached his room and closed the door so no one could enter or hear him. Naruto was considered a genius or prodigy. He was smart beyond measure, and had skills to learn anything really fast, so it didn't take him long enough to figure out that his family favored his sister more than him, seeing as she got mostly everything she wanted. He also noticed the villagers treating her like a hero. Naruto, on the other hand, barely got anything he wanted. Even on his birthday he would get 1 or 2 gifts while Narumi would have tons. He was also hated by the villagers. Sometimes when he would walk around the village alone he could see some of the villagers giving him cold glares. His sister also had a lot of friends. Every kid would try to get to know her. While he didn't have any friends, kids would avoid talking to him for reasons he doesn't know. Naruto knew that his sister had the Kyuubi's power in her, and that she was seen as a hero, but he didn't understand why he was so hated by the villagers. He lay on his bed and closed his eyes so that he could some rest. Mindscape. Naruto suddenly woke up to see that he was in a sewer, and in front of him was a giant gate with a seal on it. He didn't know where he was, so he called, "Hey! Anyone there?" His response was a giant roar from the other side of the gate, which scared him greatly. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" roared a giant beast, which Naruto could make out was a fox with red fur and 9 tails. Naruto just stood there too shocked and scared to say anything. The fox looked down and saw Naruto and started to chuckle. "So my jailer finally graced me with his presence," said the fox. Naruto got out of his shock and looked at the fox, confused written over his face. "Jailer? And who are you and where am I? Asked Naruto. Yes, you are my jailer, and to answer your question, I am the Great Kyuubi and we are in your mindscape, replied the fox now known as Kyuubi. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. The Kyuubi sealed inside him? He heard stories of the Kyuubi but didn't really pay attention because he was too small and didn't go to school yet. Why you're the Kyuubi? Stuttered Naruto, who shakily pointing at the giant fox. The Kyuubi nodded its head. Are you going to kill me? The Kyuubi shook its head and looked at Naruto. No, I won't, kid. I saw your memories and I must say that your parents and the villagers are idiots, said the Kyuubi, and Naruto was confused so he slightly turned his head showing that he was confused. The Kyuubi saw it and continued. Your father, who did the sealing, sealed my powers and your sister believing that she could control my powers, while he sealed my soul into you. Also because of this he is still alive for using the Shinigami to seal me, seeing that Shinigami didn't seal all of me into one person but split me up and sealed me into two babies. But in return he probably lost about half his lifetime making him die early than he is supposed to. Naruto nodded showing that he understood and is taking the information in slowly. Your father is training your sister early so that she can control my powers, which is like impossible without the soul being me because of the pure hatred and destruction that it contains. Naruto's eyes widened a bit and then laughed at how his father made a stupid mistake. After taking a deep breath the Kyuubi continued, many people died during the Kyuubi attack, many people lost family members, friends, brothers and sisters. Somehow the villagers know that you have the Kyuubi soul sealed into you, and hate you for it seeing as it reminds them of the people they lost. They think that you are the Kyuubi and that is why they hate you. Naruto nodded sadly understanding what the Kyuubi was saying and looked at the ground sadly think that the villagers were right about him being the Kyuubi. The Kyuubi saw this and said Naruto don't think that you are the Kyuubi because you aren't, you are you and I can't influence you in any way remember that. And just for your information I am not a bloodthirsty demon who just random kill for fun. Then why did you attack Konoha? The Kyuubi flinched a little and was then sad. I was controlled. Controlled by who? Uchiha Madara. Who's that? He is the founder of the Uchiha clan. Naruto nodded then realization came to him. Wouldn't that make him more than 100 years old? The Kyuubi nodded. Yes, but because of the eternal Manjikyu Sharingan he is immortal, and also used his Sharingan to trap me in a genjutsu to control me. Naruto only nodded since this was a lot to take in for a guy his age. At the same time he was thinking. He suddenly came to a conclusion and looked the Kyuubi with determination in his eyes. I will beat this Uchiha Madara guy for you, yelled Naruto shocking the Kyuubi. You seriously think you can beat him? Asked the Kyuubi still shocked. Yeah. Only if you train me. The Kyuubi looked into his eyes and saw the determination he had and smiled. Fine then kid but it won't be easy. Naruto smiled. Wouldn't ask for any other way. With that his mindscape started to grow faint. What happening? Asked Naruto confused. You're waking up from your nap. I will open a link where we can talk without you always going into your mindscape. Naruto nodded happy to know he didn't have to be asleep or knocked out to talk to his new sensei. Oh before I forget can you change your mindscape to something more comfortable since sewers isn't that nice. Sure thing Kyuubi sensei. One more thing Kyuubi is just a title, my real name is Yoko. With that Naruto faded out of his mindscape and woke up still in the same position on the bed. End flashback. Throughout the years he has and still has been training very hard every day. Every day he would train himself until he was exhausted and couldn't move. He would usually train in his room or in a secret training area where he wouldn't be caught. Since he was a kid he couldn't lift weight or else it would stun his growth, so Yoko, Kyuubi, gave him a routine he would have to do every day. He mostly worked on his endurance and doing workouts like push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and crunches. He also would work on his chakra control since he had a really large chakra reserve being at the moment high genin to low chunin. His routine every day would be 100 push-ups followed by 100 crunches. This would usually take about an hour or so then he would usually take short break and to 100 pull-ups and sit-ups this took about another hour. After he would run around the village 3 times, which took about 2 hours, and spend 3 hours doing chakra control. He would do this every day and wouldn't cheat or take any shortcuts. When he first began his training he started doing 20 of each, then as time came by he started to do more and more. Eventually he came to where he is now, doing 100 of each. Eventually he was interested in seals and started to read about Fuinjutsu. He guessed it ran in the family seeing as his father and mother were seals masters. He read how to do simple seals like the storage seal. He figured out how to make a simple storage seal from scratch, but during his study he came across one seal that caught his attention. It was the gravity seal. It was a seal which applies extra gravity on you making it harder for you to move, but when released you become faster and stronger. Naruto knew the gravity seal would help him greatly with his training so with the help of Yoko he figured out how it worked and applied it to himself. Also during his training, Yoko told him to go to the library to read some books on jutsu or scroll he may find. He did as he was told but couldn't find much, so Yoko told him to sneak into the Hokage's library and find a scroll that said forbidden move. Naruto did what he was told and surprisingly he actually got in. Yoko then told him to find a jutsu called Kaigebushin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and for him to know the hand seals and how to do it. It didn't take him long to find it seeing as it was the first thing on the list. After an hour or so of reading he figured out how to do it, and put the scroll back where he found it, and went back to practice what he learned. When he mastered the Kaigebushin, told him the secret of the Kaigebushin, how when a clone does something when it dispels it sends all its information and experience to the real person. Naruto was surprised with Kaigebushin he could even do training and learn more, making him even stronger. With many good things there are also bad things. As time passed by, the villagers at first started with cold glares, then changed into beating here and there. Once every 2 weeks or so there would be a crowd that would corner Naruto and beat him senseless. They didn't do anything crazy since he was the son of their beloved Yondaime, but they would show him his place. Naruto at first would fight back, but he realized that would have made it worse, so now he just lets them beat them, though it didn't really hurt since he was strong and could take weak civilians' punches. The children around Naruto's ago wouldn't hang out or talk to him, instead they would flaunt over Narumi or give him cold glares. Some of the people who tried to be his friend only did it so that they could get close of Narumi. During the academy he would be ignored, but Naruto didn't really mind since he was pretty much alone from the start. Though there were very people that befriended him. Them being Kurinai Yuhi, Anko Mitarashi, Yugao Yuzuki, Uchiha Itachi, and finally Uchiha Mikoto. Kurinai, Anko, and Yugao helped Naruto one time when the villagers beat him. After that they became friends, but at times he would stay a safe distance away from them so that the villagers wouldn't hurt them too. Itachi found him during one of his training routine and watched in silence. He was impressed by Naruto's determination and hard work and eventually talked to Naruto. He asked why Naruto was training by himself and where his family was. Naruto's answer was, "I am nothing to them, only extra baggage." Itachi was shocked but understood what he meant. He often seen Naruto walking behind his parents with an expressionless face. After that Itachi often visited Naruto as much as he could and helped Naruto with his training, seeing as Naruto was considered a prodigy like himself. Uchiha Mikoto found Naruto walking alone around Konoha one day. She asked why he wasn't with his parents, where he gave them the same answer as Itachi. Mikoto was furious and was about to march over to the Namikaze estate and give them a piece of her mind. Naruto tried to stop her, saying it wouldn't matter, but she didn't listen to him. Instead she dragged him with her to the Namikaze estate. He still remembered what happened. Flashback 1 year ago. Uchiha Mikoto barged into the Namikaze estate dragging a blonde-haired boy with her. "Kushina Namikaze! Come here now!" yelled an enraged Mikoto. Moments later Kushina and Minato came into the front of the door to find Mikoto holding their son. "Mikoto, why are you here and why is my son with you?" asked a confused Kushina. She thought that Naruto was in his room. "I'm here because I found your son walking around Konoha alone," replied Mikoto loudly. "Really? Oh. Thanks Mikoto-chan for finding my son, we will take it from here," said Minato, telling Naruto to go to his room, which he did. Though stayed back so he can hear the rest of the conversation since he noticed that Mikoto haven't went home yet. "Did you even know that your son was outside?" asked Mikoto, still mad. "No, but I thank you again for finding him," replied Kushina. Mikoto narrowed her eyes and in the corner of her eyes she noticed a redhead that was training in the family training ground. This got a question that she wanted to ask them. Why is Narumi training to be a ninja early while Naruto is sent to his room? We decided to train Narumi early. And why not Naruto? Mikoto's tone getting colder and colder by the second, which was starting to scare Kushina and Minato. That's because Narumi has the Kyuubi's power sealed into her and has to know how to control it. We will start teaching Naruto when he get into the academy. Mikoto stood there with glaring eyes at the two. I understand, sorry for asking a stupid question, Namikaze-san. Minato and Kushina flinch at the sudden change in their friend but just toss it aside, thinking that it wasn't anything serious. Mikoto turned around and walked away, too mad to say goodbye. Flashback end. After that Mikoto would help him as best as she could. Sometimes cooking him lunch to giving him advice on his training, since she herself was a jonin before she retired when she got married and had 2 kids. She tried befriending him with her youngest son Sasuke, but to her disappointment he adopted his father personality at a very early age, which was being arrogant to the max. Sasuke would say things like, Naruto wasn't worth his time, or that the Uchiha are the best to Naruto's annoyance. But at least Itachi befriended him, which made Mikoto happy, though she wished he had a friend his age, which Naruto didn't mind. His relation with his family became worse. As his parents trained his sister Narumi in the family styles and jutsu, Naruto watched in the background, always hoping for attention. He would suggest the family go the movie, while his sister would suggest they go and eat ramen, and to Naruto's disappointment they always chose whatever Narumi would suggest. After a while of watching and hoping, he gave up and trained even harder to show them that he didn't need them. He stayed in his room, not bothered to go out and talk with his family. Only time he saw them during the day would be dinner, but even then he would stay silent. He would just finish his food as fast as he could, wash his own dishes and go back to his room and train. When the family went on walks around the village, he would stay a few feet back from the rest of the family while Narumi would usually lead. He avoided attention as much as possible, being quiet or staying in corners where no one would see him. During parties he would only be there for an hour or so until he got tired and left. Sometimes Narumi would ask him to play with her, but Naruto would turn her down and said that he was busy. On his free time, Naruto would usually read books about stories, jutsu, seals, or anything ninja related. He also painted and drew on his free time. When his parents weren't around, he would work on improving his Funijutsu, hoping that he would surpass his parents since they were seal master. Naruto got up and started to do his daily workout. He took a short break, walked to his desk and took out a sheet of paper with things written all over it. "Do you think this will work, Yoko-chan?" "Don't know until we try, but I'm pretty sure it will," replied Yoko. After the meeting with the Yoko the first time, Yoko opened a link for them to talk telepathically so that he wouldn't have to always go to his mindscape. Since then he always talked to Yoko. To him Yoko was his mother/friend, he would tell her things that are happening. In return Yoko would teach him anything from jutsu to reading and writing. Yoko also helped him with his training. As time went by their bond grew and grew. One day Yoko told him to go into his mindscape and said that there was a surprise waiting for him. Flashback 2 years ago. Naruto entered his mindscape and saw a giant field of grass. He looked around and saw a giant fox and started to walk up to it. "So what's the surprise, Yoko-sensei?" asked Naruto, wanting to know what the great surprise was. Yoko looked down at him and smirked. Then suddenly, to Naruto's shock, a bright white light surrounded Yoko, and he noticed the light was shrinking, had a form of human, or something like that. When the light disappeared, his body shot back because he suddenly got a massive bloody nose. In front of him was what could be said as a goddess made human. Yoko had crimson hair, and blood-red slit eyes. Had perfectly heart-shaped face, and 2 crimson fox ears, making her even more adorable and sexy. Her body was that of a goddess, with a perfect hourglass figure, long slender arms and legs, and an impressive bust ranging from D cup to DD cups. She stood about a height of 5 feet 10 inches, and had a tan skin. Above her but were 9 crimson tails. Naruto got back up, but shortly after shot back with another bloody nose leaking out more than before. Why? Because when he got back up and looked at her, he saw her in all her naked glory. With nothing to cover her, showing everything to him. He may be a kid, but he was a genius, so he knew some stuff at an early age. Yoko smirked when he got his second bloody nose. Naruto got back up once more to still see her naked, but instead of getting another bloody nose, he covered his eyes and shouted, "Put on some clothes." Yoko pouted but reluctantly put some clothes on. She wore a crimson kimono with flower petals. After she said she was done, Naruto opened his eyes. "So Naruto-kun, did you like what you see?" asked Yoko with a smile on her face. Naruto only nodded, still dazed from seeing such a sight. He quickly shook his head to get away from his thought at the moment. Truthfully, when Yoko told Naruto her name, he figured out that she was a girl, but didn't think that demons would have human form. Also didn't think that it would be that hot. "I didn't know you had a human form," said a slightly dazed Naruto. Yoko giggled a little and replied, "Course I do. How did you think I walked around the human world without causing suspicion?" Naruto only nodded. "Anyways, if that's all you wanted to show me, then I'll be leaving then," said Naruto, turning around to leave. Yoko pouted, "Oh Naruto-kun, you're such a killjoy," only for Naruto to smile, but Yoko didn't see it because his head was turned so she couldn't see her face. By Yoko-chan, Yoko's face grew a little red with the suffix, "Too bad Naruto couldn't see it." By Naruto-kun. End flashback. I guess it's back to training. Naruto told himself. He put the paper back into his original place and continued his training routines. After Naruto finished his daily training routine, took a quick shower and changed into his nightgown. After he went to the restroom to brush his teeth. After he was done, he climbed into his bed and took out a calendar book. "In 2 days will be mine's and Narumi's birthday," said Naruto, looking at the date that said October 10th. Hokage office. Minato Namikaze was doing paperwork, something he hated to do as Hokage. He was currently looking at a paper that said to release the civilians that were in jail for hurting his son Naruto. He sighed after he Kyuubi attack, and when he announced that Narumi had the Kyuubi power and Naruto had the soul, some of the villagers asked that Naruto be watched, hurt, or killed before the Kyuubi could control Naruto. As a father, he knew that he shouldn't let them go, but he was the Hokage, not just any Hokage but the best Hokage ever to produce so far. As Hokage, he knew that the village came first, and family came later. He knew the pain of the village after the Kyuubi attack, and with Naruto having the soul of the Kyuubi, he knew that the village would target him. He knew it was bad, but the village needed a scapegoat, and Naruto was the only person to fit the job. The best he could do is reduce what they did to him. He signed the paper that releases the villagers from their prison. He just hoped that Naruto was easy forgiving and his wife and daughter doesn't find out about what he allowed the village to do to Naruto. He was about to go through more paperwork until he felt a presence behind him. "Jiraiya, what are you doing here?" asked Minato while he was approving the request. "It seems like I could never hide from you," said Jiraiya. "I ask you again, why are you here? I assumed you were peeping on women like you always do." "Actually, the toads summoned me and told me about a prophecy." "Prophecy from the toads?" asked Minato, shocked. Jiraiya nodded in confirmation. "What was it about?" "It said that the chosen one is the child born from two great shinobi, and holds great power. I expect that the chosen one would be Narumi since she is your child and has the power of the Kyuubi within herself." Minato nodded slowly, then realization came him, and he smiled. "So my daughter is the chosen one?" asked a happy, hopeful Naruto. "I think so, since she fits all the requirement," replied Jiraiya. He saw how happy his student is, and what he was going to tell him would make him even happier. "Since it's Narumi's birthday is tomorrow, I was wondering if you would let me let her sign the toad contract," Jiraiya told Minato, his smile growing wider. Minato nodded to Jiraiya and he smiled. His next student would be another person from his favorite student's family. "Since that done, I guess I'll continue my research. See you later, Minato." Jiraiya disappeared using Shunshin. Minato sighed and looked at his loads of paperwork and frowned. He still couldn't figure out a way to beat every Kage's enemy. After working for a while, Minato stopped and started to think about his family. How far they have grown as a family. How happy they were, he, Kushina, Narumi, and Naruto. He frowned when he thought about Naruto. After refusing to teach Naruto, he pretty much excluded himself from the family. Minato still remembered Naruto asking to go somewhere as in family, but he refused Naruto's idea for Narumi, picking wherever she wanted to go. As time went by, Naruto's requests became less frequent until eventually he stopped asking for anything. He even showed his face less around the house, always staying in his room, and during dinner time he would be silent, only looking at his food while he ate. The only time he really saw Naruto was when dinner time and while Naruto and Narumi were walking to the academy. Minato regretted what he did to Naruto and was going to make it up to him. Starting tomorrow after Naruto's and Narumi's birthday, he was going to start Naruto's training. He was going to bring Naruto back into the family no matter what. Namikaze's estate. Kushina Namikaze at the moment was making dinner for the family. She too felt that Naruto wasn't part of the family. Every time he and Narumi would come home, he goes into his room and stays there until dinner. At dinner he would be silent, and not even give time a glance. When they walked around Konoha, he would stay a few feet back and would remain quiet. She noticed Naruto always reading books, which was good, but he read too much and wouldn't go out and play with the children his age. She started to wonder if Naruto had any friends at all. She regretted not training Naruto at the same time as Narumi, but believed that Narumi needed extra attention due to her having the Kyuubi's power. She, being a former Jinchuriki, knows how hard it is to control the Kyuubi's power. Kushina was worried. She didn't want Naruto to isolate himself from the family. She knew that something had to be done, and the moment Naruto walked through that door, she was going to make it up to him. She was going to make the family whole again, no matter what it took. She then continues to cook dinner lunch for the family, and especially for Naruto to enjoy. In Konoha. "Naruto, Oni-chan, where are you?" shouted Narumi. Narumi ran around Konoha trying to look for her Oni-chan. After class finished, Narumi wanted to walk home with Naruto. To her disappointment, she disappeared when she tried to look for him. "Naruto, Oni-chan," she shouted once more, hoping Naruto would come this time. When she got nothing in return, she frowned and started to walk home. Narumi loved Naruto a lot, maybe more than she should. She would always try to play with him, but Naruto always turned her down, saying he was busy. She wanted Naruto to feel like a family, not an outcast. During the academy, she noticed he would always sleep in class. She also noticed that Naruto didn't talk to anyone in his class, nor the classmates tried to talk him, since they were too busy trying to get her attention. Narumi tried to talk to him during school, but every time she tried, she would be bombarded by her fan club, and when she finally got rid of them, Naruto was gone. Narumi started to remember the past, and felt sick at herself. She remembered when she little after her dad told Naruto that he had to train her first, she started to tease Naruto about it. She would say things like the family loved her more, or how show Naruto what she learned to make fun of him. When Naruto would suggest they go somewhere, she would suggest they go another place, and every time they would choose her suggestion over his. Remembering these things made her just wanted to go back in time and slap her younger self. Narumi walked home alone, another day without Naruto. While she walked home, she remembered that tomorrow was hers and Naruto's birthday. She smiled and thought of a plan to get her Oni-chan back. She finished her plan by the time she got home and was going to start it the moment she reached into the house. Namikaze's estate. Kushina was still cooking dinner, making their family's favorite food, ramen. She heard the door open and turned to see who was at the door. She saw her husband Minato at the door taking off his shinobi shoes. "Got off work early, dear?" asked Kushina. Minato looked up to see his wife in an apron cooking dinner. He smiled and nodded yup. He told her and walked into the kitchen. When he got into the kitchen, he gave his wife a kiss on the cheeks. After the kiss, he saw that she had concern written on her face. "What's wrong, Kushina-chan?" he asked. "It's Naruto. I feel like he's not part of the family anymore," said Kushina sadly, and she started to tear up. Minato hugged her and tried to cheer her up. "It's okay, Kushina-chan, starting tomorrow after the birthday party I will be starting Naruto's training," replied Minato, trying to relax his wife. Kushina looked at Minato with a smile on her face. "I bet he would love that." "I know he will." Just then the door swung open and Narumi came barging in with determination in her eyes. "Kase and make lots of ramen today," she yelled and went to her room to change. Kushina and Minato were a little shocked by their daughter's reaction, but she did get that from her mother. "Wonder what gotten her all excited," said Minato to himself. "Maybe she feel the same way as us about Naruto," answered Kushina. Then she noticed that Naruto wasn't with Narumi, nor was he home. "Hey, where is Naruto-kun?" she asked, wondering where her son could be at the moment. When Minato heard this, he cringed a little, knowing where he could be. This was unnoticed by Kushina. As if on cue, Naruto came to the door with several bruises and cut marks on his arm and legs. He was slightly limping on his left leg. Kushina and Minato were in the kitchen, so Naruto didn't notice them. Stupid villagers can't tell the difference between a jailer and the jailed. They think I'm going to destroy them since I have the soul. I don't even have the power. How can I destroy the village? Naruto mumbled quietly to himself and walked to his room as quickly as possible. Kushina was shocked to see their son was injured, while Minato frowned. Kushina quickly ran to Naruto, with Minato following shortly behind her. "Naruto!" she shouted. Naruto turned around and to both Kushina and Minato looking at him. "Yes?" was Naruto's reply. "What happened to you?" asked the worried Kushina, looking at his cut. "Oh, I was climbing a tree and slipped and fell down. I'm fine, really." Kushina didn't want to leave Naruto alone, but guessing that Naruto is fine, she let him go. "If you're fine, then clean up and get changed for dinner." Naruto nodded and walked back to his room. Dinner came and Naruto came out of his room, with a black t-shirt and black sweats. When he got to his spot on the table, he felt like there were eyes on him. He looked up and to his surprise his family waiting for him, with smile on their faces. Even Narumi seemed to be waiting for him. Usually she would be attacking the food by now, especially when it's ramen. "What the hell is going on here?" he thought to himself. "Maybe they finally noticed they have a son and a brother," replied Yoko, who saw what Naruto saw. "We'll see about that." Naruto took out his chopsticks to eat his ramen. When he ate the first bite, the family started eating their ramen. This confused Naruto a lot, just what was going on to make his family change. "So Naruto, how was your day?" asked Kushina, who actually wanted to know her son's day. Naruto was shocked his family actually talked to him. He was a little happy that he was finally getting attention, but that was easily washed away with anger. So now they notice me after all this time. Whatever this changes nothing. "Good answer, Naruto-kun, they don't deserve forgiveness, not right now at least." Naruto inwardly nodded to Yoko. Well, since he was going to follow his plan, might as well give them a piece of his mind. "Fine, nothing special happened," replied Naruto, quickly going back to finish his food. Kushina frowned at the quick answer she received. Then Narumi jumped into the conversation. "So Aniki, what did you think of today's lesson?" she asked. "Nothing special," replied Naruto, quickly finishing his ramen. Narumi frowned at her quick answer. It felt like Naruto didn't even want to talk to them. Naruto finished his ramen and put his bowl into the sink and started to wash it. "It's okay, Naruto, you don't have to wash the dish. I can wash it for you, Naruto," said Kushina. Naruto ignored what she said and started to wash his dish. "It's okay, I'm fine. I wouldn't want you to waste your time on me anyways, I can take care of myself," replied Naruto, not bothered to give his mother a glance. Kushina was shocked at her son's reply and started to get sad, and water started to form in her eyes. Her son thought that he was like nothing in the family. She wiped the tears of her eyes. She was going to change that no matter what it took. By the time Naruto finished washing his dish, the family just finished eating their ramen. Since they loved ramen, they eat it pretty fast. Naruto quickly walked back to his room but stopped when his father called him and told him to go to the living room for a meeting. Naruto inwardly groaned but went to the living room anyways and sat on the couch until his family came. When they finished washing the dishes and everything, they joined Naruto in the living room. Narumi sat next to Naruto, while Minato and Kushina sat across him. "Now Naruto, I have news for you that will make you happy," said Minato. Naruto glared at him, making him flinch a little before they continued. "I'm happy to say that starting tomorrow after your birthday that you will be starting your training in the family arts," he said proudly. "Does that mean Aniki will be practicing with me?" asked a hopeful Narumi. Minato nodded and Narumi's face glowed with happiness. Minato then looked at his son and was shocked. Naruto's face remained unchanging, his eyes looking at him with the same dead cold eyes he always has. Not a single sign that he was smiling or attempted to. Kushina too was shocked. She thought that this plan would work, she was sure it was going to work. Narumi saw the look on both her parents' face, and wondered what made both her parents shocked. She turned to look at Naruto, and like her parents she too was shocked. "Naruto Onii-chan, aren't you happy? Now we can train together?" asked a confused Narumi. Naruto looked at her with his cold eyes glaring at her. "Not really," he replied. Everyone frowned. "Why not, Naruto? Don't you want to know mines and your father fighting style?" asked Kushina, hoping to see signs that Naruto was reconsidering his answer. "I lost interest after you guys refused to teach me when I asked." Minato and Kushina was shocked and they frowned. Both the Namikaze and Uzumaki fighting style were strong. They didn't understand why their son wouldn't want to learn his family stuff and be extremely strong like them. They broke out of their thoughts when Naruto spoke again. "What do we do now?" asked a teary Kushina. After hearing what Naruto said, she couldn't take it anymore and started to cry. "I don't know anymore. Maybe this was a little too much for him to take in for the day. Just give him time, I bet he would get over it," replied Minato, trying to calm his wife. Truthfully, he didn't know. Since Naruto sounded really serious, he could only hope that he was right. "Why? Aniki, why?" cried a teary Narumi. Narumi was really hoping that Naruto would agree to train, so that they could be together, and she would have more time to talk to him. When he refused, she heartbroken and started to cry. Naruto slammed the door behind him and checked his things he got ready for tomorrow. He was still mad from the conversation he had earlier with his family. "Damn family. They notice me now and think that I would forgive them because I get to learn their fighting style," he mentally yelled at himself. "Calm down, Naruto-kun, it doesn't matter, you just need some sleep so that you can focus on the plan tomorrow," said Yoko, trying to calm Naruto down. What Naruto doesn't know is that Yoko liked Naruto, and it hurt her to see him angry, especially what happened today. She herself was angry at his parents for noticing their son now, after almost 9 years. Naruto needed to rest so that he can be focused on his plan for tomorrow. "I understand, Yoko-chan." Naruto finished packing his things and got to bed. "Tomorrow is when we leave this dump called Konoha." After the conversation with Naruto, the Namikaze family was sad and deep in thought. Minato tried his best to cheer up a teary Kushina and Narumi, who thought they lost their son/brother. After an hour or so of crying, it was late, and they went to their room for some sleep for the big day tomorrow. In Kushina and Minato's room, Kushina's face and eyes was still red and puffy from the crying. She went to the restroom to wash her face, while Minato tried his best to make sure she was fine. After they were both clean and finished with the night routine, they lay in bed together and fell asleep. Both in their mind was how to make Naruto feel part of the family, and for him to learn their family style. Though Kushina more than Minato. As for Narumi, she continued to cry by herself in her room. After about 34 minutes she finally got over it, and went to her personal restroom to wash her face and her nightly routine. During that time she, like her parents, her determination grew, and she will do everything she can to make it up to him. She jumped on her bed and pulled the cover over her, letting sleep take hold for the night, planning on ways to get her Aniki back. Next morning, Naruto woke up feeling better than yesterday. He was still mad about yesterday, but it didn't matter. Today was the day he going to go through with his plan. He walked over to his desk and pulled out a piece of paper that has his plan written out. Today is his and Narumi's birthday, also the anniversary of the Kyuubi's defeat. Since today is a special day for Konoha, there is no school, since everyone is preparing for the festival. That's when he is going to escape, when everyone is drunk from the festival, plus Konoha's security isn't so great. He was able to sneak into the Hokage office and copy the Kagebushin, a forbidden jutsu. There was only one problem with his plan, and it was his family. Apparently they finally noticed him and are trying to get his forgiveness. It didn't matter since they would be too busy with the party for Narumi to notice him anyways. Naruto sighed and put the paper away in his pocket, went to the restroom and did his morning routine. Apparently both his parents and sister were still sleeping, so he quietly sneaked out and went to his secret training ground. It may be his birthday, but that doesn't mean he get a free day and relax from training. He left his home to go to his training ground. After an hour when Naruto left, Narumi woke up really happy since today was her and Naruto's birthday. She quickly got out of bed and ran to her parents' room. "To-san. Ka-san, wake up. It's mine's and Naruto's birthday," shouted Narumi, jumping on her parent bed, waking them up. Minato and Kushina groaned as they woke up. Narumi, calm down. Why don't you wake Naruto up and we can walk around the village and see the festival preparation, and we will visit the clan heads and your friends, replied Minato. Narumi nodded and ran to Naruto's room, while Minato and Kushina got up, smiled at their daughter's antics. They both went to go the usual morning routine of brushing their teeth. After that they changed while Kushina went to the kitchen to prepare break feast for the family, and Minato reviewed what he was going to teach Naruto. Narumi ran through the halls and appeared in front of Naruto's room. She was scared to open it. She never has been inside Naruto's room before, so she didn't know what was in there. Too scared to go inside, she decided to knock instead, hoping Naruto would answer. "Aniki," said Narumi while knocking on her brother's door. She got no answer, and knocked once again only to have no answer once again. She put her head against the walls to hear any noise but heard nothing. Assuming that he wasn't there, and still scared to go into his room, Narumi went to tell her parents. Narumi quickly went to the kitchen where both Minato and Kushina are. Kushina, seeing the sad look on Narumi's face, asked, "What's wrong, Narumi?" Narumi looked at her and replied, "Naruto isn't in his room," shocking both Minato and Kushina. "Did you check his room?" asked Minato. "Well, I knocked and got no reply. I am scared to go into his room," replied Narumi. "Why are you scared?" "That's because I've never been into his room before, and I'm scared Aniki will be mad at me." Minato and Kushina was surprised. They too have never been into Naruto's room and wondered what would be in there. Naruto seemed to be in there all the time, so they assumed there was something in there for him to do, but doesn't remember getting him anything that will allow him to stay in his room all day. "How about we all go to Naruto's room then? Would you like that, Narumi?" said Kushina, which Narumi nodded in reply. The three of them quickly went to Naruto's room and stopped when they are in front of Naruto's room. Slowly Minato opened the door to his room, and when it opened all three of them were surprised. Naruto's room was what you would call plain, very plain. The walls were white, no dirty marks on it, while his bed was neatly done, showing that he was gone. His room was very clean, even cleaner than Minato and Kushina. There wasn't a single clothes lying around anywhere. His clothes were neatly folded and the dirty ones in a basket at the side of his room. Narumi, Minato, and Kushina frowned at how plain his room was. Not a single decoration on the walls. They looked around his room and noticed a bookcase filled with books, mostly advanced. Even Minato would have trouble reading some of the books on the shelves. The books were ranging from romance novels to history books. There were many kinds of different books. "Naruto can read these books?" said a surprised Minato. Kushina and Narumi remained silent, amazed how smart Naruto was. After a minute or so of being surprised, they looked around his room once more. They noticed something on his desk. It was a small stack of paintings and drawings that Naruto did. They looked through each one and were shocked at how much of an artist Naruto was. These paintings he did were almost as good as professional artists. The painting they saw were mostly about nature, but they were very beautiful. There was two paintings in particular that caught all their eyes. The first one was a painting of 4 people. 2 yellow-hair male, and 2 red-hair female. You can obviously see that one male and female were children and the other 2 adults. All 4 of them seemed to be very happy. The 3 of them knew that the painting was about them and Naruto. Minato, who was holding the painting, turned it around for Kushina and Narumi to see. They saw Naruto's signature, and when he painted this. It said that he painted this when he was around 6, but something shocked them. What shocked them though was the title of the painting. The title was called Family. After reading it, Kushina and Narumi became sad, but quickly let it go. They were going to make it up to him, that's a promise. They put the first painting down and looked at the second one that Kushina was currently holding. It was a painting of a blonde male looking over the scenery of nature. A lake covered by trees with mountains in the background. The man himself was standing on a cliff looking at the nature, so they couldn't see the face of the man. They thought it was beautiful, probably one of Naruto's best painting. Kushina turned the painting around and noticed that it was recently painted. The painting was titled Rise from the Shadow. They didn't understand what it meant. They continued to understand the meaning of the painting until they were interrupted by a knock on the door. They turned around and were surprised to see Naruto standing at the door to his room. His face annoyed. "Can I help you?" said Naruto coldly. Kushina quickly put the painting down and replied, "Sorry Naruto, we wanted to tell you to come down and eat breakfast but you were gone, so we came to your room to check up on you, to see you gone. Also we wanted to tell you to get ready to visit the clan heads." Naruto nodded and replied, "I understand, now would you please leave so I can change?" The 3 Namikes quickly left his room and Naruto closed the door. He quickly changed into normal gray pants and a dark gray t-shirt. He threw his dirty clothes into his dirty laundry basket. When he was done getting ready, he closed the door behind him. Forgetting about the plan he left inside his dirty pants pocket. He went downstairs and ate breakfast with his family. and they left the house to walk around the village and clan houses. As they walked around the village, to see how the festival preparation were coming, and it seemed that they were almost done. After the quick detour they went and visited the clan homes. Well, to be more exact, they all went to the Hyuga's homes since they were invited to go there along with all the clan heads. At the Hyuga clan house, you could see Hinata and Ino talking with each other. Shikamaru, Chuji, Kiba, and Shino were two hanging around each other. Well, to be more exact, Shikamaru was sleeping while Chuji was eating chips, Kiba was petting his pet Akamaru, and Shino was silent or talking to bugs. The parents were looking at their children play while talking. Theirs was a knock on the door, and Hisashi the clan head answered it to see Minato and Kushina with their children. They could tell that Narumi couldn't wait to talk with her friend, and Naruto who well they couldn't tell his emotion. "Hello Minato-san, nice of you to make it," greeted Hayashi, who is a good friend of Minato. "Yo Hayashi, how's it going?" replied Minato. Minato looked around the house and noticed a certain arrogant clan head missing. "Where Fugaku?" he asked. "Fugaku said something about not having time for childish things like get together," replied Hayashi. Minato laughed. "Dude gotta stick up his ass, that's for sure." Hayashi chuckled at his friend's attitude. After quick greeting from the rest of the family, Minato and Kushina went to the adults to talk about things. Kushina glanced back at her children and hoped that they were at least starting to get along. Narumi looked at Naruto, determination in her eyes. "Aniki, would you like to play with me and my friends?" Naruto looked at her like she was crazy. Didn't what he say yesterday mean anything to her? He wanted to say no until in the corner of his eyes he saw Kushina looking at them, hoping that they get along. Then something came into Naruto's mind and he mentally smirked. "If I pretend to forgive them, then they'll probably get off my back about things, which will make it easier for me to escape. Thinking they have won so they wouldn't need to worry about me that much." He looked at Narumi's still determined face and nodded, "Sure, that would be nice." Narumi quickly dragged Naruto to her friends, which was Ino and Hinata, since they were the only girl there really because it was a clan head family get-together. As both Narumi and Naruto sat down, both Ino and Hinata greeted Narumi but was looking at Naruto. Naruto just shrugged it off and greeted both of them, ignoring their looks. After a minute of awkwardness, Ino, Hinata, and Narumi talked like little gossip girls. Naruto groaned, closed his eyes and meditated as best as he could. Narumi saw this and frowned but understood that he didn't understand girl talk. While the clan heads was walking with each other and watching their children interact, Minato was currently talking with Hayashi, Shikaku, Choza, and Inoichi, while Kushina was talking with the wife of the clan heads, but really she was paying most of her attention to Naruto. She saw his eyes close, which she thought that he was sleeping, and it made her frown because he was interacting with anyone. It made her start to think that Naruto doesn't have any friends, and was lonely his whole life, which made her even more sad. Since she was part of the reason why he was lonely, because she played favorites and neglected him over Narumi. Not listening to her motherly instinct, instead listening to Minato and her ninja self, something she now regretted. After 2 to 3 hours it was noon, and time for the Namikaze family had to leave so that they could prepare for the party and to see the festival preparation. During the clan visit, after Narumi finished her girl talk with Ino and Hinata, they tried to get to know Naruto better by asking him questions, which he gave them answers and they started to talk. He pretended to enjoy being around his family. During the walk in the village, everyone greeted the Hokage and his family, while some secretly glared at Naruto, which he ignored. During the walk, Kushina and Minato noticed that Naruto was talking with Narumi. "It seems he forgives us both," Kushina and Minato thought, as they continued walking. After an hour, Minato decided that it was time to go home, so that they could prepare for the birthday party. When they reached inside the Namikaze home, Kushina looked at her kids and said, "Why don't you two clean up and change for the party?" Naruto and Narumi both nodded and went to their rooms. Kushina went to change and cook for the party, while Minato got the decoration ready. Luckily, he put some Horatian seals around the house, which made it quicker for him to decorate. Narumi finished about an hour later, and went to Naruto's room only to find him sleeping. She didn't want to bother him, so she closed the door and went to the living room to help her dad with the decoration. Hours later, time 6 p.m. It was 6 p.m. time for the party to begin. The Namikaze house was filled with friends, children, and adults. There were the clan heads and their family, Hiruzen Sarutobi the third Hokage and his family, Naruto and Narumi's godparents Jiraiya and Tsunade. There was also some Jonin shinobis who were close friend to Minato and Kushina, one of which was Kakashi, Kurenai, and Yugao, who was once a student to Minato and Kushina. Narumi was currently talking with her friends, which were Ino, Hinata, Sakura, Hanabi, and some girls in her class. There were also some guys that hanged with her like Shikamaru, Kiba, Kuji, and Shino. Narumi, though, was not engaged into the conversation. Instead, she was trying to find Naruto. Earlier, when she finished helping her dad with the decoration, she waited for her brother to finish his nap. She waited for a while, but then the guests started coming and quickly her friends assaulted her. Naruto himself was standing in the corner away from the crowd where no one can see him. He was currently observing the party, watching everyone and how the party was progressing, so that he would know the right time to escape. About an hour has passed and he finished eating dinner, and still observed the party as it progressed. He smirked when they started to take out the alcohol. Now all I have to do is wait till they're all drunk, he thought to himself. 30 minutes later most of the adults were drunk, one including Minato, though he wasn't as drunk as the others. Naruto knew it was time for him to leave. He got up to go to his room until someone standing in front of him stopped him. He looked up to see Itachi with a smile. "Hello Itachi-san?" greeted Naruto. Itachi, still smiling, replied, "Hello Naruto, where are you going?" "Just to my room, I'm a little tired so I need some rest." "This early?" "Yes." Itachi only nodded and pulled a small box out of his pocket and gave it to Naruto. "Your birthday present," added Itachi. Naruto took the box thanking Itachi and opened it. Inside was a scroll. Confused, Naruto looked at Itachi, who was still smiling at him. "What is this?" he asked, still confused. "Couple of Katon jutsus I managed to copy from the Uchiha clan. But don't tell anyone," replied Itachi. Naruto smiled. Itachi was like brother to him, and also a teacher. He thanked Itachi, gave him a hug and excused himself to go to his room. In his room he got these things ready and checked if he had everything he needed. In his backpack he has a few storage scroll holding food, cooking materials, and things for survival. He also brought kunais, and shrunken for protection. Extra clothes consisting on 2 shirts, 1 gray 1 black combat pants, and undergarments. Lastly was the scroll that he received from Itachi. He packed his things and put on his backpack. Put on his shoes, opened the window and looked at his room once more before he would leave. Looking over at his table he saw a stack of his artwork. He saw 2 paintings, the ones that his family was looking at earlier in the day. He picked one of the pictures up and put it in one of his scroll. After he pulled out a kunai, sliced the other picture making it break, and jumped out of the window when he finished. He was lucky the gate was open for incoming people that might be late to the party. He sneaked past a couple of drunken people and exited the gate. Naruto went through the festival, making sure no one saw him. He hated the fact that the house was on the opposite side of the village from the main gate. So it was going to take him forever to reach the main gate, since the other gates were closed for the ceremony, to make sure that if there was an attack they would have to come through the main gate. It already took him an hour to get the festival, and only the beginning. It took him forever because he had to take long routes and make sure no one spotted him, not even the ANBUs. He sighed thinking about how much more distance he has left, and the many people he would have to hide from in the festival. He inwardly groaned, this was going to take forever. Namikaze's house, 1 hour after Naruto left. The time was 9, about an hour since Naruto left. The party doesn't seem to be getting smaller or tiring down, if anything it seems to be getting wilder. There were karaoke coming from the living room, with many more drunken adults singing. The children were running around the house. Minato, who was slightly drunk since he didn't drink much, quieted everyone down. "Now then, it is time for Narumi to open her presents," said Minato when everyone quieted down and was listening to Minato. Narumi, who heard what her father said, smiled in happiness. For a while now she has been sad because she hasn't found Naruto. But the mention of present brought her out of her sad thoughts. The only thing in her mind at the moment was her present. First off was Jiraiya, who walked up to Narumi with a giant scroll. Many people were wide-eyed knowing what the scroll was. Swanda though was fuming when she saw the scroll. She wanted to give Narumi the summoning contract to the slug, but apparently Jiraiya beat her to it. "Narumi, I want to give you the toad's summoning contract," said Jiraiya. Narumi's eyes widened. She knew what the toad summoning from what her father told her, and also wanted to summon toads like her father. Narumi started to jump in glee. Jiraiya chuckled while everyone laughed. "Now sign here with your blood," said Jiraiya, pointing to the blank space next to Minato's name. Narumi bit her thumb so blood could come out, then she wrote her name the best she could. After it was done, Jiraiya closed the scroll and Minato came up to Narumi telling her that she will have extra training so that she could summon the toads. After she opened all the presents, which consist of clothes, toys, and things from her friends and clan heads. Her mother though got her a wooden katana and said that she will be teaching her in the family kenjutsu style, which got Narumi happy. Minato gave her some of his special kunais and said he will start preparing her for the more advanced stuff of his training. Mikoto, who was watching the gifts, frowned. Speaking of Mikoto, since the party started she has been looking for Naruto, but failed. She wanted to give Naruto a present of her own, which was a fox costume she thought would look really cute on Naruto, and a black trench coat. She asked her son Itachi to help her find him, which he did. When Itachi came back she asked him where Naruto was and he told her that he was sleeping. She told herself that she would give Naruto a present later after Narumi finishes opening her presents, and the party started once again. When she finished opening all her presents, which took about an hour because of her enormous pile of presents. Everyone was about to go back to his or her own business, when they heard a voice. "Where's Naruto Onii-chan?" asked Narumi, which everyone stopped what they're doing and looked around confused. They all forgot about Minato and Kushina's second child, the blonde boy with whisker mark who always seemed quiet. Minato and Kushina was a little worried because they haven't seen Naruto during the party either, and hoped that he was fine. Kurinai, Yugigo, and Anko, who were also at the party, were also worried for their friend, who they see as a younger brother. After saving Naruto, the three of them talked to Naruto and tried to get to know him. As time went by, they got close to each other. The three girls see him as a younger brother who they will protect no matter what. "Don't worry about Naruto, he went to his room to sleep," said Minato, who had just been informed by Itachi. Everyone nodded and went back to their things. Narumi frowned. Her plan was ruined, but she didn't want to bother Naruto either. She sighed and went back to her friends. When Mikoto saw everyone going back to party, she slipped away from the party to give Naruto her present, and maybe get to see how cute Naruto's sleeping form would look like, so she can tease him about it. When she reached Naruto's room, she pressed her ears against the door to hear if Naruto made any sound while he slept. Wow, Naruto-kun is a silent sleeper, Mikoto thought to herself when she heard nothing, unlike her husband Fugaku, who snores really loud, and grumbles something about Uchiha being the best. Man, that guy never stops being arrogant. She opened the door quietly and looked around the room. The only light was from the moon. She found the light switch and quickly switched it so the light would turn on. She looked around the now light room and was shocked to not see Naruto frown. She thought that he probably went to the restroom or something, so she waited. Might as well give Naruto his present while he was awake. While waiting, Mikoto looked around his room and saw the basket holding Naruto's dirty laundry. When she looked inside, she saw a piece of paper slightly hanging out of one of Naruto's pant pocket. Curious, she pulled the paper out and read it. She gasped and dropped the box which holds Naruto's present. She quickly ran out of the room and back to the party, looking for Kushina and Minato. She quickly found Kushina and Minato, who were in a group talking with some of the clan heads. She quickly ran to them. Minato and Kushina saw Mikoto coming up into the group, slightly panting with fear, and worry written all over her face. "What's wrong, Mikoto?" asked Minato. "It's Naruto," replied Mikoto, who didn't get to finish when Kushina interrupted her. "What about Naruto-kun?" Kushina interrupted. "Naruto is leaving the village." She shouted loudly that the whole party heard and stopped what they were doing to look at Mikoto. Kushina and Minato were shocked to hear this. "What do you mean leaving the village?" asked Minato loudly. "I went to Naruto's room to give him my present. I didn't find Naruto sleeping. Instead, I found this sheet of paper hanging out of one of Naruto's pants." Mikoto gave both Kushina and Minato the sheet of paper she found. Minato and Kushina quickly took it and read what it said. Their eyes widened when they finished. Kushina broke down crying. "He didn't forgive us," she said while sobbing. Narumi, who heard what Mikoto said, went up to her parents hoping what she heard was false. "Two-san, is Onii-san really gone?" she asked wearily. Minato looked at her daughter. She looked into her eyes and saw fear. Fear that what she heard was true. Minato didn't want to answer, so he turned away. Narumi saw what her father did and somewhat understood what it meant and broke down crying herself. Minato himself felt even worse. He re-looked over the plan and noticed that there might be a chance to get his son back. "Umbu!" shouted Minato. Then some Anbu appeared in front of Minato, kneeling. "What is it, Hokage-sama?" said an Anbu wearing a bear mask. "Find my son Naruto, and make sure he doesn't reach the main gate." "Why, Hokage-sama?" "Because Naruto is planning on leaving Konoha, and I will not lose my son," shouted Minato, getting angry that the Anbu has not left yet. The Anbu quickly left, doing what they are told. Minato himself was preparing to leave when he was stopped by a couple of Jonin, Jiraiya, Kakushi, the clan heads excluding Fugaku, who thought that the demon brat should just leave, which got a glare from Kushina, while inwardly she was confused. Demon brat. Naruto isn't a demon. Minutes later everyone was ready, including Kushina. Minato looked shocked to see Kushina. "What are you doing, Kushina?" asked Minato. "Helping to look for Naruto, what else?" she replied, getting annoyed of why they haven't left yet, and Minato questioning something like this. "No, you can't, you have to stay and watch the children." "Don't worry, I will bring Naruto back." With that, Minato left, leaving an angry Kushina before she could say anything. Mikoto, who was there, went up to her longtime friend. "Go find Naruto, I'll stay and watch the kids," she told Kushina. "Thank you, Mikoto-chan," Kushina replied, and started to leave. "You better bring Naruto back," Mikoto shouted so Kushina could hear. "I will," replied Kushina. With that, she disappeared via Shunshin. Outside Konoha. Naruto finally got outside of Konoha, though it took forever. He easily got past the guards at the gate, since they were knocked out from drinking too much. He signed to himself, It took him forever to get here after dodging people and making sure not to be spotted. He was lucky the festival pretty much reached all the way to the main gate. Finally out of the village, said Naruto with relief. Still, you shouldn't relax yet, you're still in Konoha territory, Yoko told Naruto, sounding slightly tired. Yoko was right. Even though he was right outside of Konoha, it didn't mean he should relax, since he was still in Konoha territory. He inwardly nodded to Yoko, but noticed that when she talked she sounded a little weary and tired. He wanted to ask her what was wrong but felt chakra signals that brought him out of his current thought. He cursed to himself when he sensed that they were all jonin to A and B level shinobi. Quickly he hid himself behind a tree and tried his best to conceal his chakra, hoping no one would sense him. After waiting for a while he saw a few jonin pass by him. When there was no one left he got out of his hiding spot and began running again, only to stop when he noticed about 3 people waiting for him. He cursed to himself since he knew now that his plan was going to fail. In front of him stood Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Itachi. Naruto stopped a few yards away from them, staring at them with impassive eyes. Naruto, you need to come home, said Jiraiya. Naruto glared at Jiraiya and Kakashi, 2 people he didn't really care for, since they both were somehow related to his father. One being his teacher while the other being his student. But both were both strong, something he respected about them a little. Why would I do that? Growled Naruto. That's because your father, mother and sister want you back home. Sensei, Kushina-san, and Narumi-chan wants you home so you all can be a family again, said Kakashi, jumping into the conversation, hoping to change Naruto's mind about leaving. He frowned when Naruto's face didn't lighten up. If anything, it was even madder than before. Naruto now glared at Kakashi and replied, since when have I been considered family? I was never considered family to them. I was neglected and ignored for what? Only because Narumi contains the Kyuubi's chakra, making both Kakashi and Jiraiya both flinch. Naruto, seeing both Jiraiya and Kakashi flinch, tried to run but stopped when he saw them also move. Naruto examined them and noticed that Jiraiya and Kakashi stood in front while Itachi stood a few yards back. Seconds later Naruto felt more chakra signal. He mentally cured to himself. He didn't want his plan to fail. All that planning for what? Only to fail. No, he will not allow that. He had to think of something, anything, quickly. Then something came into his mind. He only hoped that it would work. Getting into a stance with his arms crossed in an X formation, blue chakra began to cover around him. Kakashi, Jiraiya were confused but got into a fighting stance. Gravity Seal Kai. Release, said Naruto, making both Kakashi and Jiraiya eyes widen in shock. Naruto knows Fuinjutsu, they both thought. It wasn't that Naruto was faster than them or anything, it was just that Naruto was really fast for his age, even faster than them when they were his age. Though Kakashi was fast, his fastest being around low chunin speed, Naruto was at least mid chunin to high chunin speed. Naruto smiled and continued to run into the forest. In matter of seconds he was gone from Jiraiya and Kakashi, but he went off-road so it would be harder for them to find him. While running he felt like he forgot something or someone. When he remembered he cursed to himself because the person he forgot was standing in front of him. Itachi. During the interaction between Naruto and the 2 shinobi, Itachi stood behind watching Naruto. When Naruto made a dash for it, he followed him and hid his chakra to sneak in front of Naruto. Now he stood in front of Naruto with conflicting feelings. Truthfully, he hated the villagers for beating Naruto, someone he saw as a younger brother. Though he had Sasuke, the guy was like his father, someone he disliked greatly. He knew that the marriage between his parents was arranged, but would it kill him to show some affection to his wife? He tried to change Sasuke, but Sasuke had adapted to his father personality and remained unchanging. Itachi and I, please let me go, pleaded Naruto. Itachi looked into Naruto's eyes and saw his eyes sad and pleading. Itachi, a Konoha shinobi, must follow the order of the Hokage, but he didn't want to see Naruto suffer. But how will survive? It's really dangerous outside the village, asked Itachi. I read a few books on survival, and if someone attacks I can try my best to hold them off and make a run for it. I mean, I did hit you a few times during our spars, replied Naruto. Itachi looked into Naruto's eyes and saw that he won't change his mind. He really didn't want Naruto to live, but if he can take care of himself then he guessed it was okay. Use this, Naruto-kun, when you get into serious trouble, said Itachi seriously. Naruto reluctantly nodded, took the kunai, and put it in his pocket. Thank you, Itachi and I, said Naruto as he gave Itachi a hug, which Itachi returned. Now go, Naruto, before the other find you, said Itachi. Naruto nodded and dashed off. Minutes after, Kakashi and Jiraiya came. Itachi, did you see Naruto? Asked Jiraiya. No, I haven't. I think he went the other way though. We must hurry before we lose him, replied Itachi, pointing to a different direction. Kakashi and Jiraiya nodded and all 3 of them followed the direction Itachi pointed to. Naruto himself was glad that Itachi let him go. Sure, he was young, but he knew how to defend himself. he could give low to mid-chunin a run for their money. He made a mental note that he owed Itachi later on in the future. As he continued running, a red blur passed by him and stopped a few feet in front of him, making him stop. Naruto now saw who was in front of him glared at the person. For the person in front of him was his mother Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. She wore her battle gear, but without her katana since she had to rush. How Kushina found Naruto was rather difficult. When she started looking, she thought that he was probably in the forest of Hai no Kuni, Fire Country, already, so she dashed her way to the forest. When she got there, she started looking but noticed Itachi. She asked him if he had found, which he answered no, and they went their separate ways. It was only luck that she found him, because of footsteps she heard like someone was running. She followed the sound and shortly after she found her son. Naruto, why are you leaving? Is it because of us? If so, then we will make it up to you, Kushina asked Naruto, sadly hoping to change Naruto's mind about leaving. Please, you had your chance years ago. I've even tried to become a family by suggesting going to places, but what happened? Oh, that's right, my suggestions were overruled by Narumi, yelled Naruto, his anger getting the best of him. He wasn't done yet, he was by far from done. Since he was leaving anyways, might as well tell her everything, not like she care anyways. I've always tried to do anything to become a family, but every time, you ignore me, always choosing Narumi over me. I stopped trying because I know what will happen, he continued, making Kushina sadder than before. But that doesn't mean you should leave. We can make it up to you, responded Kushina after finishing her flashbacks. Like I said, you lost your chances about 2 years ago. You neglected and ignored me over Narumi for what? All because she holds the Kyuubi's powers. But she had to be trained to control the Kyuubi's power, also Minato-kun said so, and he knows what is best. Naruto was getting more furious when his mother mentioned about Minato. So what? That doesn't mean you have to neglect me. You could have always gave me books on chakra or maybe the basic anything. But no. You just shoo me like I'm some kind of fly and told me to go to my room, telling me I'll be trained when I'm ready. And don't talk about that bastard Minato in front of me. Hey, don't talk to your father like that, yelled Kushina. The bastard isn't my father, more like a overconfident fool. If he was so great, then he should have known that it is going to be impossible for Narumi to control the Kyuubi's chakra. What do you mean impossible? Asked Kushina, confused. You were a Jinchuriki yourself, you should know. Without the soul, all the power is just a mass of destruction, hatred, and madness. Narumi cannot control that. For Narumi to control the power, she needs the soul, which is sealed inside me. The soul and power must coexist with each other like yin and yang, light and dark. How do you know all this stuff? It doesn't matter, now move so I can leave this retarded village. Don't talk about your home like that. That place isn't my home. It's more like a hell, shouted Naruto, shocking Kushina. How? Kushina was confused. Was ignoring Naruto really that bad? What do you mean how? You know how? No, I don't. Really now? So you don't know that I get beat almost every other day of my life? Making Kushina shocked to her core. Naruto was getting beat up. By who? For what reason? Who did that to you? Naruto was getting irritated. What does she mean, who did it to him? And she knew the answer. You know who did it, why ask? Now Kushina was shocked. She didn't know who it was, nor did she know that Naruto was getting beat up and being called demon in the first place. You mean to tell me that you don't know a bunch of villagers beat me up? What? Why would they do that? That's because they think I'm a demon. Kushina was confused. Demon? She thought to herself. Why would they think you are a demon? Are you kidding me? You don't know? That because since I hold the Kyuubi soul, they think that the Kyuubi influences me. So they think I'm the Kyuubi and would beat me up. Naruto stopped to take a deep breath. He was mad, his face red with anger. Kushina, on the other hand, was taking this in slowly, but eventually her eyes started to swell with tears coming out. And you want to know what's funny? Added Naruto. Kushina looked up at him, wondering what it might be. That bastard Minato allowed them to beat me up, using me as a scapegoat for their pain and loss from the Kyuubi attack. Yes, Naruto knew, it didn't really take a genius to figure it out. Since he remembered seeing constant familiar faces during his beatings, he guessed that the fool must have let them free from prison and charges. He also found out when he went to the Hokage room to confirm his thoughts. When he saw a released civilian from prison signed. Kushina froze when she heard that Minato allowed her son beatings. She didn't know what to believe. She had trusted her husband, believing that he always knew what to do. But after hearing what Naruto just told her, she didn't know anymore. Right now, I cannot forget what happened to me. The pain is too much, I can't handle it, said Naruto. Kushina brought out of her current thought and started thinking about what has happened to Naruto. She was thinking about everything Naruto had told her. She started having flashbacks of all the events with Naruto. She remembered the times when Naruto would suggest things only for Narumi to say something else, how Minato along with her to agree with Narumi. She remembered the time Naruto asked to be trained only for Minato, and her to tell him to go to his room. Truthfully, she could have done something to Naruto, but instead she listened to Minato, and told Naruto that he would be trained when ready. Going through these flashbacks, she felt like an idiot, like a fangirl. After Minato was saved the village from the Kyuubi attack, he was seen as a hero. After that, Kushina, thinking Minato was the strongest shinobi ever, followed him like a fangirl, never questioning anything he said nor done. Thinking what he says or does it the right thing. Now she didn't know what to think. She wanted to believe what Naruto said was false, about the beatings and Minato, all of it false. She kept on thinking while Naruto kept on talking. She didn't hear a single thing of what Naruto said as she kept on thinking. When she got back to her senses, she was too late because the last thing she heard from Naruto was goodbye Kasan and left off, leaving a teary Kushina who broke down crying, not having the willpower to chase after him. Naruto has finally escaped and will not to be heard from Konoha for many years. Forest of Hai no Kuni. Naruto was currently walking through the forest of Hai no Kuni. At the moment he was holding a kunai, in case he was abused. It was dark, probably midnight. He has been walking for about 2 hours after the conversation with Kushina. After the conversation he felt a little more relieved to get it off his chest, but during the talk he noticed that she was shocked seeming, as she didn't know anything. Well, that didn't mean he was going to forgive her anytime soon. If she wanted to be forgiven, then she would have to earn it. That is if he ever saw her again. Naruto-kun, you need to find a place to rest. Try to find a cave or somewhere you can hide, Yoko told Naruto. Naruto inwardly nodded and began his search. 30 minutes later of searching, he found a small cave by a river. He settled down in the cave and opened his backpack. He pulled out one storage scroll and a sleeping bag came out. He was about to make a fire, but thought otherwise since he was still in Hai no Kuni, fire country, and a fire could give away his spot. Minutes later he was in his sleeping bag getting ready to sleep. Night, Yoko-chan, Naruto mentally said to Yoko. Good night, Naruto-kun, replied Yoko. Naruto went to sleep, while planning for tomorrow. While deep in his sleep he never heard Yoko's tiring panting voice after she finished talking with Naruto. I don't have any more time left. I hope Naruto-kun finds a sensei soon, someone to protect him. If I remember correctly, there is a small village in between Mizu no Kuni, water country, and Kaminari no Kuni, lighting country, Yoko said to herself, panting at the same time. Next morning, Naruto woke up early so he could continue his travel. It was 5 in the morning and the sun was barely out. He pulled out his scroll and put his sleeping bag back inside the scroll, and then pulled out a map. He also made a quick breakfast and ate while he examines the map. Where should I go from here? He asked himself. Naruto-kun, try going to the island in between Mizu no Kuni and Kaminari no Kuni. There is a small village there that neutral from all hidden village. I used to live there a long time ago. It's a strong village, and has very kind people. Maybe you can find a sensei there, Yoko told Naruto, trying her best to sound normal. It seems to work since Naruto didn't seem to notice anything at the moment. But she knew it wouldn't work for long. Why she was hiding it? Simple, she didn't want Naruto to worry about her. Okay, Yoko-chan, but how would I get there? I need money to get on a boat to get there, asked Naruto. Sure, the plan seemed good, but there was one problem he totally forgot, and it was to bring some money. He wasn't expecting to get a ferry or something along those lines. So much for planning early. You can always hide in one of those crates where people ship supplies towards the island, replied Yoko. Naruto sighed and thought about it. I guess it could work. So how to get to the dock? Naruto looked at the map to figure out where he was. After 10 minutes he figured that he was about a 2 worth of travel to reach the nearest dock, which was at the edge of Hai no Kuni and between Mizu no Kuni and Kaminari no Kuni. He figured from there he hoped that the boat would take him all the way straight to the next island. Since the island Yoko told him it was the farthest island out of all of them, he probably would have to take multiple boats to reach the island. He sighed to himself. Hope this place Yoko-chan told me is worth it, he thought to himself as he finished his breakfast, packed his things and began walking towards his destination. 2 days later. It was the afternoon, and Naruto was now at the dock. He could see a person stacking supplies on a small ship. It seems that there was only one person loading the ship. Naruto was looking at the man who is working. He has short, flat, light blue hair and stood at a height about 6 feet 1 inch, and looked around the mid-20s. His wardrobe was somewhat shinobi clothings, with a black coat and black combat pants and shinobi sandals. On his face he wore a sunglass, which Naruto thought was pretty cool. Well, it looked a lot cooler than the Abiram's sunglasses. On his hand he wore black fingerless gloves. Naruto then decided to talk to the workers to ask him where the ship is headed. Excuse me, sir, said Naruto. The worker stopped what he's doing to look at Naruto. What can I do for you, kid, and where's your parents? Replied the worker when he noticed that there was a kid by himself. I accidentally went on a ship last week and brought me here. I think my parents are worried sick about me. I was wondering if this ship was going to the island up ahead. It's the island that is the farthest from here, explained Naruto. The worker started at Naruto for a moment, then smiled. Sure kid, this ship actually has some supplies to ship over there anyways, you can tag along, said the worker. Naruto smiled back and nodded. Thank you, kind sir, thanked Naruto, while the worker smiled back at him. No problem kid, just got to load a few more things and we will be off in about an hour or so. Naruto nodded and the worker went back to work. While waiting, Naruto observed his surroundings and went through what he did in the past 2 days. For the past 2 days, his trip seemed rather smooth. He didn't encounter any missing nin, or Konoha nin. Just one weak bandit, he quickly threw a kunai at the bandit's leg and ran off. During his travel he talked to Yoko a lot, since she was the only person to keep him company. Through their talk he noticed that Yoko's voice seemed to become more tired or softer than her usual self. He tried to ask her what was wrong but she said it was nothing, so he didn't press on it too much. Hey Naruto-kun, why didn't you go with the plan I told you to? Asked Yoko, still trying her best to sound as normal as she can. Though as the days progressed it seemed to be a lot harder. During their talk on the travel she seemed to have slipped up a few times, causing Naruto to notice. When he tried to ask her she quickly replied that it was nothing. Now it was getting difficult for her to even sound normal. She just hoped that Naruto would find someone strong to teach him soon. That's because if I'm found I'll probably get kicked off on the next island. Also I don't want to be hiding in multiple ships, or stay crouching in one place for a few days, Naruto replied. After an hour or so the worker was finally done loading the boat with supplies. Alright kid, let's go, said the worker. Naruto quickly got up and ran to the worker. Hey, what's your name kid, I forgot to ask, he asked. It's Naruto, what's yours? Said Naruto as they continued to walk towards the small boat. Me? I'm Shing, replied the now known Shing. Naruto nodded and he went onto the boat waiting for Shing to finish. Shing went on minutes after, and they started to sail off towards the island. How long do you think it will take to get to there? Asked Naruto. Well, since we are going straight there, probably around 3 days, replied Shing. Naruto was shocked. He thought that they were going to visit the other islands first before going to where he wanted to go. Don't you have to drop supplies to the other island first? Asked Naruto, to which Shing smiled. No, these supplies go the farthest island, replied Shing, only for Naruto to nod dumbly. So Naruto, who are your parents? I actually live there myself. I might even know your parents since it's a pretty small village, asked Shing, changing the subject. Now Naruto inwardly cursed and frowned, which Shing noticed and raised an eyebrow. My parents are Riku and Mikisato, said Naruto, lying, hoping that Shing would buy it. Shing himself was looking at Naruto, a raised eyebrow behind his sunglass, which Naruto couldn't see. Might as well play along. Wonder what his life was like for him to come here. Shing wondered to himself. He was going to find out more about this Naruto kid. Oh really? I know them. Haven't talked to them in a while though, didn't know they had a child though, replied Shing. Naruto inwardly sighed, thinking he got away with it. After that they talked about random things to get to know each other. It was getting late. Shing made dinner for Naruto and him. As they ate they started to get to know each other. Every time Shing would ask about Naruto's life, Naruto would always lie or cover up the real thing. During the talk Shing would always wondered how Naruto's life really is. Well, I'll find out soon anyways, he thought to himself. After they ate, Naruto went to sleep while Shing stayed up to watch for land or possible attack. Shing turned and looked at Naruto, studying him. After that he looked back at the sea. An hour later he looked back at Naruto, making sure that Naruto was sound asleep. He walked towards Naruto, his right pointer finger glowing white. He then put his finger on Naruto's forehead. Memoririda, memory reader, he said quietly. The finger then glowed brighter. Shing then appeared in front of a door. He opened it and saw a white room with a chair. Quickly he sat on the chair, and then looked straight ahead. Visions then appeared on the white wall. It was Naruto's memory from the day of his birth all the way till he met Shing. Shing watched everything, his eyes widened at the things Naruto has been through. He didn't expect Naruto to have such a life. He was mad at Naruto's parent because they neglected him for his sister because of power, then his family wanting to repent after such a long time. He saw how Naruto trained by himself and some help from the few friends he had. He smiled to see Naruto's determination to become strong. While waiting his life, Shing created a dislike for Minato, Naruto's dad. The fool, thinking that it was better to be a hero than his family. Even allowing his own son to be beaten so that villagers could relieve their anger. It disgusted him really, and as for his mother, he thought she was a fangirl. The way she followed Minato without thinking, it also kind of disgusted him. True, Kushina was ridiculously hot, and he loved women, but only ones with a mind of their own and wouldn't follow someone without thinking. After watching the conversation with Naruto and Kushina, he saw the shocked look on her face when Naruto told her of his beatings and how Minato allowed it to happen. It seemed that she didn't know about it, and if she know anything about women and mother, it's that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, especially when it's one of their child involved. Shing smirked. Maybe she'll redeem herself, who knows? He thought to himself. After he went through everything, he quickly exited Naruto's memory, ending up and back on the boat. The sky was still dark, showing that he hadn't spent that long inside Naruto's mind. He looked at the sky and felt a pulse go through his head. He then turned his gaze to Naruto and smiled. Seems my search is over, said Shing to himself, as he pulled a sleeping bag of his own and fell asleep. The next 3 days of traveling has been somewhat good. Naruto has started to like Shing, while Shing started to like Naruto, seeing him as a son of his own. They reached a small village and Naruto was shocked at what he saw. The village was probably the smallest village he ever saw. He knew small villages, but this village beat those by far. This village was probably the smallest village ever, with a population of around 30 people. He could tell that the village was agriculture-based village, due to the many farmlands he saw. When they reached the dock, Naruto helped Shing get the supplies off. Alright Naruto, so where's your home? I'll take you there, said Shing. Naruto then froze. He had to think of something fast. It's okay, I can get there myself. Plus you should take care of the supplies, replied Naruto. Alright then. Be safe, hope to see you around. Shing smiled and waved to Naruto, who waved back at Shing. Naruto then turned around and walked towards the village, looking for someone to train him. Though behind him he could see the smirking face of Shing. As Naruto walked through the village, he saw the villagers smiling at him. He replied by smiling back at them. While walking, Naruto tried to look for someone strong to train him, but he didn't find anyone. All he found were the villagers farming their farms, or little kids playing with each other. As he walked farther towards the tall mountains, the village seemed to get smaller, until it completely disappeared. Now he was in a different village. It was more darker and deserted. He looked around and found that there were houses that were deserted. The houses looked run down or broken. There were broken house pieces lying in the side of the road. What happened here? Asked Naruto. Naruto stopped on the road and closed his eyes to talk to Yoko. Seeing as there was no one, he assumed that he was safe. I don't know, Naruto-kun. Last time I remember this place, it was prosperous, and there were a lot more people than what we just saw, replied Yoko, sounding very tired, like she was on the verge of fainting. This got Naruto worried. He didn't know what was wrong, but Yoko never sounded like this before. Are you okay, Yoko-chan? Asked Naruto, worried. I'm fine, Naruto-kun, don't worry about me. Naruto, watch out, I sense large chakra nearby, replied Yoko, changing the subject when she sensed the large chakra. Naruto opened his eyes when he also sensed it, but it was already too late because he felt a hand on his shoulders. This part of the village used to be prosperous, filled with many villagers, all happy. Then a giant ruthless storm came and destroyed this part of the village. After that, ninjas from other hidden villages attacked this village, killing almost everyone, said the person who had a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto could tell that it was a man due to his masculine voice, and it also sounded familiar. He just couldn't figure out who. This happened about 100 years ago, during the time of when the 5 great hidden village rose. The shodaime of each respective villages and their army attacked them. They attacked the village because this village holds great knowledge. They hold everything about ninja, bijou, and many more. All kinds of jutsu, even forbidden ones that were never heard of, and seals that would make seals master now look like novices do it. How strong and advanced it was. After the attack, they tried to take the scroll of technique and knowledge, but the leader of the village sealed it away in a giant scroll with a blood seal. Only a person with the same blood as the leader of the village or people of the village could open it. But all the people died on the attack, leaving no one able to open the scroll. The people before were wanderers that wanted to settle down, so they made a village that you just came through. When the man finished, Naruto turned to see who it was, and to his shock it was Shing. Shing, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto, surprised. Shing turned and smiled at Naruto. I could ask you the same, replied Shing, but before Naruto could respond, Shing interrupted him. I know everything about you, Naruto, or should I say Naruto Namikaze. Making Naruto's eyes widened. I looked through your memory while you were sleeping. Why? Because I could tell you were lying to me the whole time, and there was something about you that seemed interesting. Naruto was taking all this information in strides. So you knew all along? He mumbled, which Shing nodded. You won't take me back to my father, will you? He asked, somewhat afraid as Shing might say yes. No, I won't. Actually, I came to offer you something, said Shing, making Naruto's attention turn towards him. I offer to train you in this village secrets and techniques. Naruto's eyes widened with shock. But how? You said all the people of this village died, so no one can open the scroll to learn the secrets, he exclaimed, to which Shing started chuckling. Well, all except one. He yells and pulls out a giant scroll that says Byon clan. This here Naruto is the one and only scroll of the Byon village or clan since before hidden villages ninjas lived in clans and fight for land. Shing continued. I am the last survivor of my clan and I have been finding someone to pass my knowledge to. That's when I found you, Naruto. You have the determination to become strong. When things have not gone your way, you find ways around it. Though I don't believe leaving your home was a good idea, but I'm glad you did, for if you didn't I probably would have never found you. Naruto was shocked. Shing, a person who he thought was a normal person who didn't know anything about the ninja world, is the last survivor of this amazingly strong clan, known as the Byon clan. So Naruto, do you want to learn from me? Asked Shing. Naruto broke out of his thoughts and a big grin comes on his face. Hells yeah I do! Shouted Naruto. Shing chucked at Naruto. Alright Naruto, but before that I need to do a blood ritual, said Shing. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. Why? Asked Naruto. I need to because then you'll be able to open the scroll and I bet you probably want to get rid of anything that is related to your family, replied Shing. Naruto nodded when he heard everything and nodded, showing that he wanted this. Yes, now I can finally cut all my ties with him and his family, Naruto thought to himself. But before that I need you to show me your seal, said Shing, bringing Naruto out of his thought and doing what Shing told him to do, though he was confused at the same time. Suddenly on Shing's right hand, his 5 fingers started to glow white and he yelled, Tamashi no Kaiho, soul release. He then bring his finger into Naruto's seal, making Naruto's eye widened. Shing's fingers then slips into Naruto's stomach where the seal was placed. Shing then makes a move on his hand showing that he is holding something. He pulled his hand back, and out came his hand and also something else. Both Naruto and Shing looked to see who it was, and was shocked to see Yoko in her kimono. Shing instantly bursted backward with a nosebleed when he saw the red beauty, while Naruto's shocked face turned to worry when he saw Yoko's tired form. She was currently lying on the ground panting. Yoko-chan, what's wrong? Asked Naruto worried, as he ran up to Yoko. Yoko couldn't respond, she was too tired to. She is going to die, said Shing, making Naruto turn to him horrified. What, no way! You can't be serious! Shouted Naruto. Tears started forming in his eyes, when he heard he might lose his best friend, one of the only few people that took care of him, and someone who he loved and will always protect with his life. I'm serious, Naruto, replied Shing flatly. The soul and power must coexist with each other. If the power does not have the soul, then it is mindless and full of darkness. But if the soul does not have the power, then it doesn't have the power to live. The only reason she was able to live so long is because inside the seal it slowed the process down. But now she has reached her limit, he finished, as Naruto was now in full-blown out tears. Yoko-chan, I'm sorry, if only I could have found a way to save you, Naruto cried on Yoko. Yoko used her willpower to hold on to Naruto. It's okay, Naruto-kun. At least I know you are safe and will be strong in the future, she told him. Shing, who was watching this in the background, also started to cry. Then he remembered something and walked towards Naruto. Naruto, I just remember something that will save your friend there, said Shing. Naruto turned to Shing, hope in his eyes. Please save her, please, Naruto pleaded. Shing nodded to Naruto. Going through his memories, he understood how important the girl was to Naruto. Naruto, move out of the way. Naruto did as he was told and moved, but never letting go of Yoko's hand. Shing then went through a few hand seals and said, Tamashi no Chikara no Fukatsu, soul power revival. Yoko's body started to glow in a white glow, shocking Naruto and Yoko. Don't worry, Naruto. I sent Yoko's soul back to her body so that they could be one again, Shing told Naruto. Naruto smiled at Shing and then turned to smile at Yoko. Look, Yoko-chan, now you'll live, shouted Naruto while smiling, making Yoko face a little red. Yup, but I'll have to be away from you, seeing as I'll go back to my powers which is inside your sister, replied Yoko, which made Naruto frown when he heard the news. Don't worry, I'll be fine, and I won't let your sister control my powers. I'll only use it when she is in danger, so that we both live, seeing that if she dies so will I. Naruto nodded slowly because he looked at Yoko with determination in his eyes. Don't worry, Yoko-chan, when I'm done with my training I'll come and set you free. That's a promise, shouted Naruto. Yoko smiled sweetly at Naruto. I'll be waiting for you to come and save me, Naruto-kun, she said to Naruto. Then he gave Naruto a quick kiss on the lips, shocking Naruto and also making him blush a little. She then disappeared in a flash of light, and her soul soared through the sky and towards the direction to Konoha. Alright then, Naruto, are you ready for the blood ritual? Asked Shing as he waited for Naruto to calm down a bit. Yes, I am, replied Naruto, excited. He wanted to get this over with so that he could begin his training. You sure, Naruto? This will change your whole DNA. You won't be the same blood as your family anymore, added Shing, making Naruto groan. I already said yes, so hurry up and do it. Shing quickly went to Naruto and told him to lie down. He then told Naruto take his shirt off, which Naruto quickly did as he was told. After that, Shing drew a really complicated seal on Naruto's chest. When he was done, he bit his hand on so that blood could fall on Naruto. Quickly he went through many fast hand seals and shouted, "Hakai no Chi no Bodhi, blood body of destruction." The blood started spreading all over the seal, covering every bit of it. Then suddenly it went into Naruto's body and Naruto was put into a world of pain and agony. The blood was destroying all his nerves, DNA, blood, everything. After a few seconds, Shing quickly drew another set of seals, this time different, over Naruto's chest since the seal before disappeared when the blood spread over. He then again dropped blood again on the seal and went through a different set of hand seals. When he was done, he shouted, "Ketsueki no Tenshitai no Fukatsu, blood transfer body revival." The blood then started to once again spread around the seal and into Naruto's body. Instead, this time inside Naruto's body the blood started to grow and expand. Naruto's body started to fill up with the blood of Shing and gaining a new set of DNA. After a good 30 minutes of pain, the pain started to calm down and Naruto's breathing was coming back to normal. 30 minutes later the pain was completely gone and Naruto was back to normal. Naruto opened his eyes, revealing his still electric blue colored eyes. Naruto then stood up and faced Shing, showing him the new changes that happened. Naruto's hair changed from yellow to very light blue color, almost white, but somehow his hair was still the wild spiky hair he had before. He now stood at a height of 3 feet 8 inches, and for some reason his body seemed more defined. For Naruto himself, he felt more stronger, and felt like he had a lot more chakra than before. "I feel amazing," commented Naruto, still trying to get used to his new body, and marveling at his newfound strength. Shing chuckled at Naruto. "So Naruto, like the new you?" he asked him. Naruto nodded. "Yeah, can I ask you something?" "Sure, what is it?" "Does this mean you're my Tusan now?" Shing smiled when he heard this. "Sure, if you want me to, that is." "That would be awesome," yelled Naruto. "But first you must know my real name," said Shing. Naruto looked at Shing, confused. "Shing is my brother's name, but he died. Before I was supposed to be the next ruler, but I wanted to travel around the world, so I switched place with my twin brother. I took his name, and he took mine. When I heard that the village was being attacked, I tried to come back as fast as I can, but it was too late. The village was destroyed and everyone died, leaving me that last survivor of our village. I searched for remaining survivor, but instead of finding anyone, I found this scroll and a letter from my brother telling me everything that happened. From then on I learned everything I can from the scroll and to find a worthy person to teach them to. That when I found you, Naruto. Naruto, you will be my first and only apprentice." Finished Shing. Naruto's eyes widened when he heard everything, especially the part where he was going to be Shing first apparently, but unfortunately he didn't hear the only part. "Wait, wouldn't that make you over 100 years old? How come you don't look a day over 25? Asked Naruto when he realized Shing's age. Yup. It's kind of a clan secret how I survived so long, you will figure out later on in your training," Shing told Naruto. "So what's your real name, Tusan?" asked Naruto, changing the subject and now calling Shing by dad. "It's Yu Beirong. So you ready for your training?" said the now known Yu, with a sadistic smile on his face when he said training. Naruto smiled back to his dad. "Hell yeah!" he yelled. "It's not going to be easy, if anything it's going to be hell. Wouldn't have it any other way, Tusan." With that, Yu and Naruto walked towards the mountain where Naruto will be trained, and comes back stronger than before, well, if he survives. Yu and Naruto walked into the mountain. After an hour or so of walking up a mountain, they eventually reached a small house inside the mountain. Yu opened the door and he and Naruto walked in. Inside there is a small kitchen, and a table enough for 2 people. Right next to the kitchen is the living room. The living room didn't have much except for a couch. The rest of the house just had a small bedroom. "You'll start your training tomorrow, go by the river to wash up and we'll eat dinner soon. After that you sleep," said Yu, as he pulled out a storage scroll and unsealed some of the luggage that Naruto saw on the ship. Yu walked over to a brown box, and searched inside it. Seconds later he pulled out a pig and searched into another box and pulled out some vegetables. He quickly walked over to the kitchen to make dinner for Naruto and himself. Naruto went outside, and saw a river nearby. He took off his clothes and jumped into the river, to wash up. The river was cold, so he washed up as fast as he could, so he wouldn't get a cold. When he was done he put his new pair of clothes on and went back to the house. Inside he could see Yu cooking dinner, so he stayed on the couch and waited for him to finish. An hour or so later Yu called Naruto over, and they ate. During that time they got to know each other more. After dinner Naruto helped Yu with the dishes. Now they are just relaxing in the small living room. "Alright Naruto, time to sleep, you're going to need it for tomorrow," said Yu when he saw the sky getting dark. "Where am I sleeping?" asked Naruto, curious where he would be sleeping. He hoped it was the couch because it is really comfy, and he hoped you wouldn't make him sleep outside since it looked like it was raining. You said the words that made Naruto's nightmare seem like a reality. Outside, replied Yu with a serious face. Naruto looked at him, disbelief written all over his face. Wait, are you serious? It's going to rain, he shouted, still shocked knowing where he will be sleeping. Hell yeah, I'm serious, now go. Your training starts tomorrow morning at 5, replied Yu. Yu watched Naruto dragged himself outside with a sad expression. He couldn't hold it anymore and started to laugh. He laughed so hard his stomach started hurting. Naruto turned around to see why his dad was laughing about. Oh man, I can't believe you were going to sleep outside. Yu laughed, trying to get his composure. You told me to, argued Naruto. I was kidding. You can sleep on the couch. Yu got up so that Naruto could sleep. Naruto happily ran over to the couch and got his sleeping bag out and fell asleep the moment his body landed on the couch. Yu chuckled at his new son and went to the river to wash up before he went to sleep himself. The next morning, Naruto woke up at 5 and looked around the room for his dad/sensei. Assuming that he was still sleeping, Naruto brushed his teeth and walked over to his father's room. He put his ear against the door. Hitomi-chan, you're so beautiful, Naruto heard. What the hell? He thought and slammed the door open, waking Yu in his sleep, somehow wearing his shades. He wears them in his sleep too, Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Naruto, what happened? Asked Yu, startled by the sudden burst in his door. It's 5, that's what happened, replied Naruto. Yu turned to look at his watch, and it indeed was 5. He turned back to look at Naruto's annoyed face, and scratched his head and smiled shyly. He must have overslept, sorry about that, he said nervously. Naruto walked out of the room and Yu quickly changed and joined Naruto to eat breakfast. After breakfast they both walked outside the house. Alright Naruto, I want to have a spar with you, Taijutsu only. We'll see from there after that, said Yu getting. Naruto nodded but cursed in the inside. True, he was able to hit Itachi like once or twice, but he didn't have any Taijutsu fighting style. Itachi had recently taught him a little of the Uchiha's fighting style, so that Naruto can have some style in his Taijutsu. It didn't help that he just spends most of his time training his body, chakra control exercise and reading into Fuinjutsu. Might as well get this over with, he mumbled to himself, and walked to the opposite side, and faced Yu. You ready? Asked Yu and Naruto nodded. Then Naruto dashed towards Yu, his fist cocked fast ready to punch Yu. Yu was surprised by the speed Naruto was coming at him. Impressive, he thought, and sidestepped to the side to dodge Naruto's punch, and using Naruto's momentum he slid his feet, so it landed right in front of Naruto's back leg. He swiped his leg, tripping Naruto easily, and Naruto's face landed on the ground. Naruto got up and looked at Yu. Now it's Yu's turn, and he threw a punch at Naruto, which he dodged. In an instant Yu sent a power kick to Naruto's side, making Naruto fly a few yards away. Damn it! That was some powerful kick, Naruto thought to himself. He looked up to see Yu walking towards him. Naruto quickly got up and ran towards Yu. When he got into range he sent a punch to Yu, which Yu easily dodged. Naruto then tried to swipe Yu's leg but Yu hopped away. Naruto charged at Yu, giving him a random punch-kick combo. Yu continued to dodge Naruto's attacks. So he doesn't have a fighting style, he thought as he dodged another kick. This could be easy then. Yu blocked a hook punch from Naruto. Naruto roundhouse kick Yu, but Yu quickly caught it, and in an instant Naruto was on the ground. Alright, spar over, said Yu, letting go of Naruto so he could stand up. Naruto got up and brushed the dirt of his clothes. It seems you don't have any fighting styles, stated Yu. Naruto looked at the ground a little sad. Yu saw this as laugh. Hey, don't worry, this is actually easier for me to teach you. Naruto looked at him and smiled. Alright, now for your training, said Yu with an evil laugh right after. Naruto started to feel nervous and felt he was going to die for some reason. I want you to run back to the harbor and back up here. Naruto's eyes widened to proportion not known to man. Yu had to hold in his laugh when he saw Naruto's face. He couldn't wait to tell Naruto the rest of it. Also, when you run you will have to send chakra to each of your legs. Like when your right foot is in front, you have to send chakra to your right foot, the same with your left. When you finished he laughed, seeing Naruto's eyes the size of his head. Minutes later Naruto ran off doing what you told him to do. 6 hours later, Naruto finally reached the house. His clothes are drenched because of his sweat. The run was horrible. It took forever, and the fact that he had to concentrate chakra to one foot and not both killed him. He even fainted halfway back up the mountain. He just hoped that he wouldn't have to do this anymore. Naruto looked around for Yu but couldn't find him. Naruto looked around the house, and eventually found Yu behind the house. The area behind the house was much larger, maybe because of the forest behind it. Naruto could see Yu in a fighting stance Naruto never saw before. He saw Yu looking at 10 dunnies placed far away from each other. It seemed Yu didn't notice Naruto yet, and continued to do what he was planning on doing. In an instant you disappeared and reappeared behind a dummy and punched the dummy head off. Seconds after he did the same to another dummy and another, until they were all obliterated. Naruto's eye widened in shock. His dad, you just defeated 10 dummies in an instant. He was amazed. Never did he think someone could do something like that. Sure, Minato could go that, but he needed seals, while you didn't use any seals and did what Minato could do. If anything, you makes Minato look like a turtle. Alright Naruto, you can come out now, said you, brushing some dirt off his clothes. Naruto went out of his spot and walked towards you. So how was your jog? He asked Naruto. Horrible, Naruto simply replied. You chuckled at this. Haha, don't worry, you'll get used to it. You're going to be doing this every morning. Naruto just fainted when he heard that. You laughed and picked Naruto up and set him on the couch, and made lunch for the both of them. Naruto woke up to the smell of food. He looked over at the kitchen and noticed lunch was on the table, and you was waiting for Naruto. Naruto quickly got up and ran towards the table. The run earlier made him very hungry. When he reached it, they both ate. Hey Tusan, what was that move you use easier? Asked the curious Naruto. He never heard of such technique, and truthfully wanted to learn it himself. Hee awesome, isn't it? But you will learn it later in your training. It's part of the Byon Taijutsu style. But you have to learn other style before I can teach you Byon style, replied you, getting a nod from Naruto. Naruto himself was excited. He couldn't wait to learn different taijutsu, especially the Byon. Awesome, I can't wait, yelled Naruto, getting up at the same time, but his legs failed to support him and he quickly fell afterwards. You'll start your training again tomorrow, but tonight I just want you to read this scroll. It has the basics of the tiger style. I want you to learn it, and we'll see what you can do tomorrow. Naruto nodded and took the scroll from you. He quickly finished his lunch and dragged himself to the couch, much to Yu's amusement. He then began to read over the taijutsu scroll he received from his father. Next day. Naruto woke up the next day feeling very sore, especially his leg area. Apparently his breakfast was already on the table. Naruto did quickly ate it and began to do his horrible jog. When he got back, Yu was waiting for him in his battle clothes. Alright Naruto, after lunch let's see what you learned from reading, said Yu, and they both ate lunch. After lunch they both went to the backyard and got into battle stance. Naruto into the newly learned tiger stance, as well as Yu. Naruto, you ready? Asked Yu. Naruto nodded. Begin, said Yu. Naruto then dashed forward. From what he read, the tiger form is mostly about quick strikes. Naruto did a right hook shot, making Yu block it with his hand. Then at the same time Naruto saw an opening at Yu's stomach, sending and sent a strong uppercut at his stomach. What the he learns pretty fast for someone without practice and only reading, thought Yu. Yu then dodged a roundhouse kick and jumped out of the way. Let's see if he knows how to block. Yu charged at Naruto and jabbed Naruto's chest, but Naruto blocked it. Naruto then dodged a hook shot sent by Yu, and managed to block a second hook shot. Yu then sends an uppercut to Naruto's stomach and Naruto flew a few feet back. Alright, that's enough Naruto, said Yu. Naruto relaxed and walked to Yu. Seems someone a fast learner, Yu commented, to which Naruto smiled. Well, this is going to be your training for a while, until you master the other style, then I can teach you the Byon style. During your free time read up on the taijutsu styles and maybe some few ninjutsu, said Yu. Naruto nodded and they went in for some lunch. During lunchtime and after are usually their bonding time. As new father and son they try to get to know each other more. Hey Tusan, how come you wanted to travel around the world? Asked Naruto as he ate his lunch. I never liked being in one place for too long, always wanted to travel the world, and learn things from different places, replied Yu. You know Naruto, I was considered a genius myself. I learned things at a fast rate like you, the only thing different was that I didn't have any motives to learn. I always skipped classes and relax or sleep, in a way I guess you can say I'm lazy. I never wanted to be the ruler, and that was probably the reason why I never tried, since if I showed that I had the skills to be a leader then I probably would have been stuck with the job. Also I always thought my brother Shing was a better ruler than me. He loved the clan while I loved to travel. During my travels I learned different taijutsu from other clans and villages, as well as mastering all of them. Well, enough about me, how about Naruto? Why do you want to get stronger Naruto? Naruto pondered at this for a while. Why does he fight? Sure, he wanted to get stronger so he could beat Madara for Yoko and set her free. I don't know, at first I wanted to prove my former family that I can get stronger without their help. Then I met Yoko, and she told me everything that happened, why she attacked Konoha. I told her I would beat this guy named Uchiha Madara for controlling her, and I told her I would protect her. Ah yes, Yoko, said Yu, who started daydreaming about the redhead beauty. Too bad he wasn't going to get any action from her, so in a sense you want to get stronger to protect those close to you? He asked. Naruto thought about it for a while. I guess you can say it like that, he concluded. Well, I think that's awesome. You don't want to get stronger to beat people up or to rule something, but to protect the people you love. Said Yu, then he looked at Naruto. So if I needed help, would you help me? Sure I guess, but I bet you can handle yourself. So I don't think I need to help you or anything, replied Naruto, and Yu was crying anime tears. He was hoping Naruto said yes or something, to show some son love. After a good chat and getting to know each other, Naruto went to study the tiger style, and Yu went to polish his sunglasses. 3 years later. During the 2 years, Naruto has learned a lot. He managed to master the tiger style, as well as snake, flamingo, monkey, paramantis, lion, bear, and various martial arts style that Yu ended up teaching Naruto. He also mastered a style known as the dragon style. For him, this was probably the hardest. Yu added to Naruto's morning routine by giving Naruto extra strength and gravity seals, and weights on him. At first Naruto was barely able to move, and later on he got used to it, and eventually he was able to run the whole thing in 3 hours. Yu also made Naruto punch and kick trees to strengthen his fist and legs. He also made Naruto do some arm workout because he didn't want Naruto's leg to get too strong that it would make Naruto look weird. For his arm workout, Naruto would do push-ups and pull-ups, but as he did them he was told to put chakra into them every time he went down, and release it when he got up. This only made it harder for Naruto to do it because he had to concentrate on sending chakra and doing push-ups. In the end it paid off. Naruto chakra control went up drastically. His body became toned, and his legs and fists were almost as hard as rocks. As for his Fuinjutsu, Naruto read some Fuinjutsu in the scroll and mastered some of them. As of now he assumed he was low jonin in ceiling, since he spent most of his free time reading on Fuinjutsu. As for ninjutsu, Naruto hasn't learned much except for chakra control exercise, and his affinity, which were the 5 main elements. As for Kagabushin, he is able to do a lot more. Before he would do 10, but now he could easily do 20. This also helped him a lot with his training. As for his relationship with Yu went up. Yu would sometimes take Naruto to get some supplies, and traveled. But what sometimes annoyed Naruto was that during their travel, when a cute, beautiful, hot, or gorgeous woman would pass by them, his father would start flirting with her, but to his annoyance. Maybe because one time Yu left Naruto alone and forgot to give him money for food, and didn't come back till nighttime. By then Naruto was starving. After that Naruto would get him back by telling the woman that Yu was married and would be cheating on his wife. He still remembered the first time he tried it. Flashback 1 year ago. Naruto was currently with his father Yu. They were walking towards a village in Hai no Kuni to get some supplies. Yu didn't tell him what village he was going to, so Naruto could only wonder. He just hoped it wasn't that village. Naruto was still mad at Yu because last time he was left stranded by their boat without any money for food. But when he saw the village symbol he became enraged. They were few feet away from Konoha's main gate. "Why are we here, San?" asked Naruto in a cold voice. "There's a store here that sells some of the best meat. I promise once we get the meat we'll be out of Konoha as fast as possible. Don't worry, they won't notice you. During the blood transfer your chakra everything was changed, also your whisker marks are gone. Yes, they disappeared when Yoko was out. The only way they can notice you or even have hints is the spiky hair of yours, but many people got spiky hair, so I wouldn't worry too much," replied Yu, hoping to brighten his son's mood. Naruto only nodded, but in his head he was going to think of a way to get back at his dad. As they walked, Naruto being the one to walk faster since he wanted to get out of here as fast as possible. When he felt the presence of his dad moving farther away, he turned around to find his father flirting with a beautiful woman. Naruto now was furious. He marched right over to his dad. He looked over to the woman to see who it was, and to his shock it was Uchiha Mikoto. He cursed to himself when he saw her. He thought of a plan and just hoped that it worked, and she didn't notice him. "Hello there, my name is Yu, and I must say you look rather stew." Yu didn't get to finish his introduction to the black-hair beauty. "San, what are you doing? You're married. What happens if mommy finds out that you're flirting with other women?" cried Naruto. At first Mikoto was staring at the kid as if she knew him from somewhere, but when she heard what the boy was saying she instantly glared daggers at Yu, making Yu took a step back. Mikoto, being a wife where her husband showed no love at all, knew how it felt, and she will be damned if someone of her kind, woman, experienced the same pain as her. "You asshole! How can you be so cruel? You're married and you have the galls to flirt with other girls. You filthy animal!" shouted Mikoto and finished with a kick to Yu's family jewels. Yu hold his fell down in pain while holding his family jewels. Mikoto crouched down to the son of the man. "Don't worry about him, he will be fine. Just remember to sto." Mikoto didn't finish because as she was talking she was looking at the boy, and when she started into his electric blue eyes she froze, because she knew of only one person that had those eyes. "And Naruto-kun?" she said to herself. Naruto himself cured, but she thought of something and hoped it worked. "I'm sorry, but my name is Yamamoto," said Naruto, making up a name he could think of from the top of his head. Mikoto broke out of her thinking and looked at Naruto. Oh, sorry about that, I'll be going then, goodbye, said Mikoto, getting up to leave. Naruto waved and helped you get up. What's your problem, man? Cried Yu, trying his best to lessen the pain. Your fault for one. Leaving me alone last time, and two. Bringing me here. Replied Naruto. Not my fault, Naruto. I told you they have some of the best meat here. Both Naruto and you paid no mind to the civilian passed by them, but actually the civilian was a shinobi who was having his days off. So Naruto-kun found himself a teacher, but what's with the hair and where's the whisker mark? Maybe a henge? Thought the shinobi/civilian who was revealed to be the one and only Uchiha Itachi, Naruto's surrogate brother. Flashback end. After that, Naruto would sometime do the same thing he did in Konoha to Yu, when he felt annoyed, much to Yu's hate. They left Konoha and Naruto was never detected, excluding his encounter with Mikoto. Naruto just finished his run routine. He wiped some sweat off his head. Now a 12-year-old boy, Naruto stood at a height of 5 feet 2 inches. He still had his light blue, wild spiky hair, though it has gotten a little longer, reaching to his mid-forehead. Today was a special day for Naruto. Yu said he had a surprise for him, and hoped it was to learn Byron's taijutsu. It was near lunchtime by now, so he walked inside the house. Inside the house, Naruto finds Yu sitting down ready to eat some lunch. They finished, and he told Naruto to go outside. Outside, Yu was wearing his battle gear, which consists of a black muscle shirt and black shinobi pants with shinobi clothes and black fingerless gloves. Today I want you to fight with everything you got. Same rule, taijutsu only, said Yu, getting a nod from Naruto. Naruto was happy and hoped to give his father a hard time this time, since the last time they spared was like 6 months ago. In an instant they both got into their fighting stance. Naruto in his newly learned dragon stance, and Yu in a tiger stance. They gave each other a stare down, until Yu was the first person to react. He charged at Naruto and sent Naruto a strong kick to Naruto's stomach. Naruto blocked the kick with his right arm, and threw 2 quick jabs at Yu's stomach, making Yu face forward because of the pain. Naruto sends a roundhouse kick to Yu's face. Yu used his right arm to block the kick and did a right hook to Naruto's face, sending Naruto back a few feet. Naruto shook the pain off and jumped towards Yu, getting ready to send a roundhouse to Yu's face. Yu easily dodged the kick by sidestepping, making Naruto fall. But instead of falling in the face, Naruto uses his hands and does a front somersault, and uses his momentum to throw a strong punch to Yu's face. He hit right in between his eyes, breaking Yu's precious sunglass. Yu was shocked by that move. Then he looked down to see the remains of sunglass. No! My shades! He cried out loud, going down to his knees and crying to the heaven. Naruto started to sweat dropped at his father. Yu began to do a whole funeral ceremony just for his shades, to which Naruto started to sweat drop even more for his father's love of shades. When Yu was done, he glared daggers at his son, giving off a deadly aura, screaming, "You'll pay for that!" Naruto got back into his fighting stance. Yu charges at Naruto and gave Naruto a deadly uppercut, but Naruto barely dodged it and ducked a hook punch from Yu. While Naruto was down, he swept Yu's leg, making Yu trip, but before he could fall, Naruto kicked him into the air and uses his elbow to slam him back into the ground before Yu could get higher than him. Yu started to cough up some blood. Man, am I old, he thought to himself. Yu rolled away to dodge a stomp from Naruto. He got up and decided that it's time to end this. He charged at Naruto and got ready to kick Naruto. When he saw Naruto getting ready to block, he changed his attack and sent a hook punch to Naruto's face. Then an uppercut, making Naruto fly in the sky, and appeared above him and sends a bone-crushing drop kick to Naruto. Naruto dived into the ground and dust started to be formed around where Naruto landed. When the dust cleared, you could see Naruto injured. His clothes were ripped and he was in a small crater. Naruto got out of the crater and sees Yu floating down. "You okay there?" asked Yu. He wasn't really concerned since he knows Naruto could pretty much take on anything thrown at him. "I'm fine, let's keep going," replied Naruto. Yu chuckled and reached into his pocket, confusing Naruto. Naruto face faulted when he saw Yu pulling out a glasses case holding another pair of shades. "I can't believe he has more of those," he mumbled to himself, his face still on the ground. Naruto got up from the ground and sees Yu putting on his shades. The moment Yu put on his shades, it disappeared and reappeared behind Naruto in a second. Naruto's eyes went wide. He hasn't seen that move since the incident with the dummies. Naruto turned around but was sent flying by a bone-crushing hook punch. Naruto landed a few feet away but couldn't get up. He was dead tired, and let the black take him. Naruto woke up 3 hours later with bandages around his body. He was on the couch as well as Yu. Yu himself had a few bandages too. "Seems you're ready to learn Barong Taijutsu," said Yu. Naruto's eyes widened when he heard his, but if it weren't for that hook shot to his face, he would be smiling. "Now let me tell you the basics of Barong Taijutsu," continued Yu. The basic of Byon Taijutsu is called Hypersupedo, hyperspeed. It's the move that makes me move fast as you just saw before. To use Hypersupedo you need to have excellent chakra control, so that you can send chakra to your feet and release in a blast moment you run so you can speed up. That's why I made you go through the you're running like, so you can do it to each of your feet. This is also part of our blooding as we are able to use chakra as boost in speed by blasting them out upon release. Or we can send blast projectile of pure condensed chakra at people. Imagine DMZ ki blast thing or Kamehameha. With that you can make your attack stronger or hit long wave attack, or make yourself faster. In hyperspeed you move as fast as the speed of light. But there are many weaknesses to hyperspeed. One is that you can only do straight movement, so only up down and side to side. 2. You cannot use it consecutively. After 3 times you have to wait for a second or 2 before you recharge. 3. Once you choose a destination you cannot change it. 4. Once your first destination is found or discovered, the next location can be easy to predict. To counterattack hyperspeed all you need to do is step out of danger zone, and since opponent cannot change their destination, their reaction time will be slowed. A skilled fighter figures out how to counter it. They can create a small fraction to counterattack hyperspeed. You finishes and let Naruto take all the information in. After a moment Naruto smiled. Sure there were many side effects but hey he gets to be faster than Minato, and probably one of the fastest person in the elemental nations. Totally worth it. Plus it isn't so bad, just got to time things right. Alright, so you ready Naruto? You asked Naruto. Hells yeah, let's go, replied Naruto, running aside the house with you following behind. They went to the backyard where the dummies are placed, except there are newly set ones. Okay Naruto, when you sent chakra to your feet like how I taught you, you become Jinsaku, swift. In Jinsaku you move as fast as the speed of light. Here let me show you. You sends chakra to his feet and pretty much teleported right behind one of the dummies and teleported back to Naruto. Let's see you try Naruto. Remember send chakra to your feet and right before you run blast it out. Naruto did as he was told and sends chakra to his feet. He focuses his destination to a dummy a few yards away. The moment he ran he somehow blasts his chakra sending him to a dummy in an instant. When Naruto reappeared next to the dummy he was exhausted. Never did he think that something like this would be hard, and take so much out of him. You on the other hand was impressed. Truthfully he didn't think Naruto would get it on his first try, but then again he was a genius. You can work on that later. Let me show you another Byon technique. When you focus chakra to your fist and condenses it becomes the On no Yari, Spear of the King. In this form you can piece through pretty much anything. Let me show you. You teleported behind and sent chakra to his fist. He punches the dummy and releases his chakra in a blast formation. The effect was the dummy's pretty much obliterated, there was no trace of the dummy ever there, and the remaining bits and pieces flew everywhere. Naruto was shocked and amazed, he couldn't wait till he learns this. You reappeared back to Naruto. You can also do this with On no Yari, added you, sending chakra to his right arm. His right arm started to glow blue. Chakra then started to form around Yu's arm, until it covered it completely, and there was a big aura of chakra covering his arm. Kyukyoku no O no Kabushi no Ichigeki, Ultimate King Fist Blow, he shouted and extends his arm, sending the chakra in his arm out in a giant line of chakra beam, like a projectile, imagine a Kamehameha. The giant chakra beam blasted right through the dummies, and into the forest. Dust collect around the destroyed places. When the dust cleared Naruto's eyes shot wide open. What Naruto saw was complete destruction. The whole area where you shot was destroyed. There was no trace of it, and the trees that got into the line of fire were completely destroyed too. That is my ultimate move. As strong as this is, it is also very dangerous. When you use this move your arms sore, and your muscle tear. Remember use only when you're in a pinch, and only once. If you use it twice well your arm will probably be immobile. You said, which Naruto replied by nodding. There's always a price for everything he guessed. When you use a powerful jutsu, there always side effect he guessed. Alright Naruto, let's get started on your hyper speed, said you. Naruto happily nodded and he and you trained with each other. 4 years later. It has been 4 years since Naruto started his training in the Byon style. This style was pretty hard to learn, since it required an excellent chakra control to do. The Byon style was somewhat complexing, since the style itself was confusing. They had their own taijutsu. He was also able to include all the styles he learned into the Byon style. During his 4 years training, he spends his time training in the Byon style for taijutsu. For Fuinjutsu he mastered a lot of things from the scroll you gave him. Now he would say he is almost seal master level, though probably not as good as Jiraiya or Minato. He probably needed to train a little more before he gets as good as them. As for his ninjutsu, he would say he was about Haichunin to low Jonin level. Sure, the scroll had a lot of ninjutsu techniques, but he spends most of his time with Fuinjutsu and taijutsu. Since you himself was a taijutsu specialist, and was pretty good at Fuinjutsu. Probably took after his dad. His relation with his dad went up even higher. Naruto told his dad mostly everything, as well as you. Naruto his dad were what you can say best friend. During their supply visit, when you flirted with woman, Naruto would just hyperspeed and punch him, making him fly away. You helped him in Byon Taijutsu and Fuinjutsu when Naruto asked. He even helped Naruto with some ninjutsu as best as he could, though it wasn't much, since he wasn't much of a ninjutsu user himself. Naruto is now a 16-year-old young man. He stood at a height of 5 feet 9 inches. His hair has grew covering his forehead, but still in its wild spiky form, Shippuden hair. His body was ripped, but not to the point where it would look nasty. If anything, it was perfectly ripped or toned. His face was angular, and had barely any baby fat left. At the moment he was currently wearing a black shirt that fit his body, and gray shinobi pants. It was noon and Naruto just finished his training his taijutsu. He still hasn't mastered the barong style, but was still very good at it. His father said that if he continues training like this he would master it in about 2 more years. He told Naruto that it took him about 10 years to master it. So Naruto was pretty happy that he was going to master it before his father/teacher. Today was odd. Today his father told him that he had to tell Naruto something. This happened a lot, but today his dad was serious, which made Naruto a little on edge. During his training Naruto kept on thinking what his father was going to tell him. Naruto walked into the home and finds you sitting on the kitchen table. With him he had the scroll of Barong clan and a few boxes. Naruto didn't know what it was, so he with caution sat down across of you. "Hey Dad, what did you want to talk about it?" asked Naruto. You looked at him and smiled. "I want one more spar, one last time," replied you. Naruto was confused, but he had a feeling that he knew what it was. "Wait, why? Are you leaving or something?" Naruto was now concerned. He didn't know what was going on. "Nah, I ain't leaving, more like it's my time to leave," corrected Naruto. "I was told that it's my time to go. But before I leave I want to have one more spar with you. After that I'll make my decision." All Naruto could do is nod slowly since he didn't know what was happening, but Naruto knew what he wanted, and it was a spar with his father. Even if it was one last time for reasons unknown of. "Alright, let's go," said Naruto, and they both walked outside the door. Both Naruto and you stood a few feet away from each other, giving each other a stare down. They gave each other a nod and the fight began. Naruto and you dashed towards each other. They both threw a straight punch at each other, both ending up hitting each other fist. In an instant they both disappeared and reappeared via hyperspeed. Every time they disappeared and reappeared they end up in a deadlock. They end up few feet away from each other once more. Naruto then uses hyperspeed to appear behind you. You knew what would happen and took a step forward, to dodge a punch sent by Naruto. He uses Naruto's miss-hit and turns around to send a quick hit to turn around and hit Naruto with a hook punch. Naruto quickly recovered from the punch and sends an uppercut to you, making him fly in the sky. You flew upwards and Naruto jumped towards you and sends him a kick to his side. Or tried to if you didn't block it. Then they started to have an air fight. Naruto and you quickly sent each other fast front punches and kicks. The force was strong. They started sending shockwaves, and the shockwaves started making the ground crack. Eventually they landed and Naruto gives you a roundhouse to your side. You flew back a few steps. You was surprised by the force of Naruto's kick but shook it off. He then hyperspeed behind Naruto, but Naruto sidestepped and blocks a punch. Naruto's eyes shot open when he felt pain hit his stomach. Naruto looked down and saw Yu's feet digged into his stomach. Yu followed through with his kick and sends Naruto flying back in a ridiculous speed. Yu dashed towards the flying Naruto. He uses hyperspeed to appear ahead of Naruto, and when Naruto came into range he dropped kicked Naruto into the ground. Naruto coughed up some blood. He opened his eyes to see a foot in front of him. He quickly rolled to the side and bounced back up. Naruto then sweeps his foot, but Yu quickly jumped away. Naruto uses this moment to send Yu a bone-crushing uppercut and follows through with it, sending Yu into the sky once more. Naruto once again jumped into the sky, but this time he jumped higher than Yu. Naruto got ready for a dropped kick, and when Yu came into range, he sends Yu a bone-crushing dropped kick. Yu flew into the ground at high speed. When he landed there was dust everywhere. When the dust cleared, Naruto saw Yu in the crater he made form the last kick. Both Naruto and him were both very tired. Their clothes were ragged, ripped and covered in dirt and dust. "Let's finish this, Naruto, one last move," said Yu, which Naruto nodded. Both their right arms started to be enveloped in chakra. The chakra spread and grew larger and larger. Naruto and Yu shot out their arms and both shouted, "Kyukyoku no no Kabushi no Ichigeki," then giant beam of pure chakra came out of both of them. Both the beam crashed into each other. Naruto tried his best to overpower Yu, but in the end Naruto got overpowered. The light overcame him, and he fell unconscious. An hour later Naruto woke up his body on the ground. He turned to the side to find you sitting down in a crisscross fashion. So you're finally awake, huh? Said you, amused. Naruto tried his best to get up, and eventually he did while grunting though. Naruto walked over to you and sat down next to him. Hey Tusan, how I do? Asked Naruto. You turned to him and smiled. You did great, I'm proud of you, son, replied you with a smile. He then paused for a moment and continued, Naruto, it's time for me to go, my time's up. I left the scroll in 2 present for you. I have one more lesson for you, Naruto. Naruto leaned in closer to hear what it was. A genius who don't put in any effort cannot win against a man who works hard. I want you, Naruto, to always work hard and train, never back down, and always remember why you get stronger and fight. They both gave each other a fist bump before Yu's body started turning white. Well, I guess it's my time to go. Make me proud, son, said Yu. I will too, san, watch me, replied Naruto. Yu's body turned white and seconds later he disappeared. Goodbye, Tusan, may you rest in peace, said Naruto. Naruto let a tear slid down his face. He wiped the tear and went back inside the house. He looked at the table and picked up the first box. He opened it and found a pair of gloves. With the gloves was a note, which Naruto picked up to read. Hey there, Naruto, I'm probably be gone by now, so hope you enjoyed my presents. I had this glove specially made. It can withstand pretty much anything, making it impenetrable. Also, I'm giving you a summoning scroll that has been in my family for generations. It's the Dragon Summon. This is also the same summoning that the Rakuta Sannin used to help fight against the Jubi. This scroll has been in our family since the beginning. I want you to have it, but remember one thing, Naruto. Do not, I repeat, do not sign it till you are at least 21. Why? Because the moment you sign it and summon the Dragon Boss, and he approves of you, then you stop aging physically. That is the reason why I look young when I'm supposed to be like 150 years old. I hope you luck on your journey, Naruto. Oh, and if you didn't open the other box yet, I gave you something that I know you'll love. Naruto put the letter down and put on his new gloves. At first they were big, but after a second they readjusted to fit his hand perfectly. Naruto noticed that on the knuckles part of the gloves were metal round pieces. He sealed the dragon scroll away into the Byon clan scroll. He installed a blood storage seal in the scroll for storing special things like a summon scroll. Naruto then opened the other box and found an awesome trench coat. The trench coat was gray, and had a hood in the back, as well as a collar. The trench coat probably reached down past his knees, but he didn't mind since this coat looked so cool. He assumed he'd grow into it a few more years. At the bottom part of the coat were black belts-like things around the stomach area, and 2 long strands gray connected to the coat with metal pieces at the end. As well as metal pieces here and there on his coat. Okay, I'm bad at describing things, so imagine Ranga the Blood Edge, from BlazBlue, coat but gray with a hood. Naruto looked at what else was in there and instantly face faulted on the table. The second thing inside the box was a pair of shades for Naruto, and a letter. He seems like you found your other present. Hope you like the coat I gave you, got it customized. Oh, and your coat is fireproof. Now I truly hoped you loved your new pairs of shades. Welcome to the family, Naruto. Oh, and if those shades accidentally breaks, I gave you a scroll that has enough shades to pretty much last you an eternity. So you never have to worry about broken shades ever again. Oh, and I also have you a map of the elemental nations. Hope you luck, son, and make me proud. Naruto's sweat dropped. He put on his new coat, put the storage scroll full of shades away in the family scroll, and got ready to leave. When he was done, he closed the door behind him and opened his map. Now let's see where to go, he thought out loud. Right now, he was in the middle of Kaminari no Kuni and Mizu no Kuni. Though Kaminari no Kuni was closer to Konoha in his opinion, so he picked the better out of the two. Alright, Mizu no Kuni it is, yelled Naruto as he begins his journey. Hey, maybe I can visit Kirigakure and find myself a Kenjutsu teacher, he thought to himself, as he continues walking, not knowing what awaits for him in Mizu no Kuni. Naruto was now in Nami no Kuni. It took him about a week travel on a small boat, but he got there eventually. Naruto now wore the trench coat his father gave him, and he absolutely loved it. He realized that the metal pieces were weights, though he could control the output of it since there were seals on them. His gloves felt magical, like it was another fair of skin for him. It never bothered or irritate him, and it felt like he wore it all his life. He placed a blood storage seal on his upper arm so he could seal away his family scrolls. Naruto now wore black jonin pants, shinobi sandals, both of which had weights that Naruto can control. On his pants were 2 weapon pouches. He also wore the shades that his father gave him. Apparently it was kind of like an umbu mask for reasons unknown. People who he knew in his village couldn't recognize him. The first step Naruto took in Nami no Kuni, and he saw the country. But when he saw the country was frown. He expected a lively village due to remember that it was a prosperous land when he came to visit with his father. Now all he saw was a deserted land full of poverty. The streets were deserted, homes destroyed, people living on the streets begging for food or money. He saw the faces of the people and it was that of fear. He tried to go up to some but they covered away in fear. Who could have done this? He thought to himself, getting madder at the cause of this. He saw a man sitting by a hut. He walked up to the man. Excuse me, sir, but can he didn't get to finish before the man threw a rock at him. Get away from me. I don't have the money. He shouts. Wait, sir, I think I said get away from me. He threw another rock at Naruto. Naruto dodged it easily and listened to the man. I will find the problem to this, and I will make whoever or whatever pay. He thought as he walked away. His hand clenched in anger. He continued to walk around the village every time being shouted away, or refused to be talked to. This made Naruto mad and wondered what happened to the once prosperous friendly village. After a few hours of walking, Naruto came by another house, though there was no one around this time like the village when he entered. He decided that he probably went through the village center, and now he was probably at the outskirts. As he passed by the hut he heard a small voice crying. Quickly he went and opened the door. What he saw horrified him. There on the ground was covered in blood, and a man who was lying on top of it all. He quickly went to the man. He examined the wound and saw that the man had a large slash across his chest. From what he saw it was still fairly new. Hey mister, wake up! Wake up! Yelled Naruto. The man coughed out blood, and tried to open his eyes. Then he mumbled something. They took my wife away, please save her. Naruto wanted to know more. Who did this? He asked. GJ Gato, and his men, the man managed to say before his body went limp. Wait sir, wait! Damn it, wake up! Wake up! Naruto yelled as if his words can save the now dead man. He gently dropped the man, and slammed his fist on the ground creating a small hole. Damn it! He yelled. He took a deep breath to calm himself. He looked around the room and saw a little girl no older than 5 or 6. She was in a corner hiding and crying. She had long black hair that reached her shoulders. Naruto walked up to the girl, which caused the girl to back up until she hit the wall and couldn't go anywhere. She looked up at Naruto, fear in her eyes. There, I won't hurt you, I promise, said Naruto, giving of a smile. She looked into his eyes and didn't see he was lying. She dropped her guard but was still cautious. Can you tell me what happened? She nodded, and explained what happened. There were bad guys. They took away my mommy. Daddy tried to fight them but they beat him up. She cried, tear coming out of her eyes remembering what happened. Naruto quickly hugged her and tried his best to comfort the small girl. Don't worry, I'll take care of those bad guys for you and bring back your mommy, okay? He said. The girl nodded. What's your name? The girl answered. Akane. She replied. That's a beautiful name, he said, ruffling the Akane's hair. She quickly fixed her hair to see Naruto walking out of the hut. Wait, Mr. Nice Guy, she called. Naruto turned around to see her almost crying. Don't leave me, I don't want to be alone, she cried. Naruto, knowing the pain of being alone, walked up to her and hugged her again. Okay, you can come, but remember when I say be quiet you have to be quiet. It's going to be dangerous, so always stay close to me, okay? He said, which Akane nodded. Also, my name is Naruto. They both walked outside the hut and gave Akane's dad a proper burial. When they finished it was late at night, and Naruto needed a place to stay. Akane was already sleeping and he had to carry her on his back. He traveled around the city looking for an inn or some sort. So far every single house or inn he came by, which were rarely, all said they were full. Are you sure there is no room at least for the girl? He asked. No, there isn't, I'm sorry, but we only have a few room in our inn since it is small. Also Gato's his men always come in here and stays here without pay, replied the receptionist. Naruto only nodded. Sorry for bothering you, he said before he left. They were all the same, all the rooms booked, and all taken up by Gato's men. He wanted to do something about this, but he didn't have enough information on Gato. Naruto continued walking past the houses. Then something caught his attention. Someone help me! He heard a lady screamed. He quickly turned his head towards the direction of the noise and headed towards the direction, making sure not to wake Akane up. Minutes later he saw a woman screaming, and 2 men pulling her away. Get your hands off my daughter, said an old man, who tried to run at her daughter. Another 2 men quickly held him back with their weapons. I gotta help them, Naruto thought. He was about to charge in but then stopped himself when he remembered who he was holding. He was stuck, he didn't know what to do. He didn't want to leave Akane on the ground vulnerable to being attacked, but if he went in right now they might be able to attack him and hurt her. Shut the hell up, old man, said one of the men. He brought up his sword and was sent slashing downwards at the old man's head. Damn it, suddenly Naruto's eyes suddenly changed. Inside his eye is an outline of what seems like fire. His eyes also look more cold and seriously. He quickly, without thinking, carried Akane in a bridal-style carry in hyper speed into the battle. He held Akane close to his body to avoid her getting hit. Before the man can cut the old man, Naruto appeared in a hyperspeed and kicked the man out of the way. He instantly hyperspeed again and appeared in a few feet away from the old man. In an instant all the men that was attacking the two people flew backwards and were knocked out. "What?" said the old man, shocked. The woman was shocked too. Never in their life had they saw someone who moved so fast. It was shocking. What the hell? Naruto thought, his eyes going back to normal. He was shocked. He didn't know how he beat a number of people in an instant like he seen his father do sometimes when he sneaked up on his father's training to watch him. He can still remember in one of his father's personal trainings. Flashback. Yu was currently in the training ground in the backyard. Naruto had just finished his morning routine and wanted to see where his dad was. He had found him in the backyard but stayed quiet since he wanted to know what his dad was doing. There in the backyard were 30 to 50 wooden dummies all spread out from each other. Naruto noticed that Yu was a good distance of the closest dummy. Naruto thought that Yu was going to hyperspeed and destroy them one by one. What he saw was nothing he ever expected. He was right about one thing, his father using hyperspeed, but he wasn't expecting the result. It was all the dummies destroyed in an instant. All Naruto saw was his father using hyperspeed to move a few steps away from where he stood before, a second or two after he hyperspeed. When his father landed, there was silence for a second until all the dummies were destroyed. All at once, and not one were standing. Naruto didn't know how to explain it. What he saw didn't make any sense. It was as if the weakness of hyperspeed didn't apply to his father. Flashback end. After that, Naruto tried to get some answer from his dad, but he just chuckled and tell him he will learn in due time. I'll worry about it later, he thought to himself. Naruto gently dropped Akane and picked up the unconscious men. He hyperspeed away and appeared again, this time with no one. Well, they should be taken care of, stated Naruto, gently picking up Akane, carrying her like a baby. Now then, if you excuse me, I need to get going. I need to find a place to stay. Naruto started to walk away. Wait, we a small inn. If you want, you can stay with us, said the lady. Naruto turned around and looked at the lady. He finally got to see her features, and he had to admit she was gorgeous. She had dark blue hair that surrounds her heart-shaped face. She wore some rag clothing, but it didn't fail to show her figure. He could easily see an almost hourglass figure, and a pair of C-cup. Thank you? I'd been looking all night for one, the rest was already full. Thanked Naruto. The lady and the old man nodded. They went inside the house, and Naruto quietly and gently set Akane down on a bed inside one of the inn. He went outside the room to meet the owner of the inn. Sorry for asking this of you. He apologizes to the owners. Don't worry about it, kid. Anything to repay for saving us. What's your name anyways? Asked the old man. It's Naruto. Mine's is Tazuna, and this is my daughter Tsunami, said Tazuna, pointing to his daughter. He smiled and nodded. Hello Tazuna and Tsunami, I must thank you again for allowing us to stay here, replied Naruto, bowing to the two. Common kid, loosen up, chuckled Tazuna. Naruto relaxed a bit and sat down on the couch. What brings you here, Naruto-san, and is that girl your sister? Asked Tsunami, who wanted to know more about Naruto, since she doesn't remember seeing him in the village. Actually, I was planning on going to Kirigakure to look for a Kenjutsu master so I can continue my training. I came here and was shocked to see what happened. I came here before and remembered that it was once prosperous and friendly village, now it's ruin in poverty and fear within people, replied Naruto, taking a deep breath before continuing. I found Akane in an hour crying. When I came inside, I found her father dead, killed by blood loss from a sword slash across his chest. He told me to save his wife, who was taken away from them by someone named Gato and his men. Can you tell me what happened here? Asked Naruto. Tsunami and Tazuna were shocked to hear about Naruto's short journey, then it went to a frown when they heard the name Gato. Gato is an extremely corrupted, greedy, cruel, and evil man. A few years ago, Gato came to Nami no Kuni and made a shipping company known as Gato Company. He was also a smuggler and a drug dealer. With his successful company and smuggling and drug dealing, he had lots of money and quickly rose into power. Eventually, he took control of Nami no Kuni and struck fear within the people. At first we rebelled against him, but after the death of my daughter husband Kaiza, because he stood up against him, everyone in Nami no Kuni fell into fear, no one having the courage to stand up against him. Now with Gato running the country, he expects people to pay taxes for literally everything. If you didn't pay, he will take you away and make you a sex slave if you were a woman or a girl, or sell you off to slavery if you were a man. If you tried to fight back, his men would kill you. He kept the money to himself, letting the village rot, making the village what it is now. Sometimes, if he felt like it, he would just send his men to take women away and make them sex slave for his own personal use. Tazuna paused, letting Naruto take all the information in. He waited for a minute before he continued. If you hadn't saved us, he would have gotten my daughter. I'm actually a bridge builder, and Gato wants me dead. He wants me dead because I'm building a bridge that can help Nami no Kuni's economy, but it will take away Gato's control on the country. He doesn't want to lose his power, so he sent his men to get me. The men earlier that came to my house were sent to kill me and take my daughter away from me. If it hadn't been for you, I'd probably be dead and my daughter a sex slave. Then no one will be able to care for Inari," finished Tazuna. "Inari?" asked Naruto confused. "He's my son. He's currently sleeping right now. After his father's death, he has lost faith in heroes. He now believes no one can stop Gato," replied Tsunami, who started to cry thinking about her son and his lost faith. Naruto was quiet, taking in all the information. He then looked at Tazuna and Tsunami. "Don't worry, I'll find this Gato and stop him," he announced, determination in his eyes. Tazuna and Tsunami looked at him as if he was on crack. "What, Gaki, are you serious? You can't take him and his army of bandits, missing means, and criminals," yelled Tazuna. Tsunami nodded, agreeing with her father. "You're only like 18, you are young and you'll be killed," she added. "I'm 16, but don't worry about me. I have been training for a long time. I think I can manage myself if those guys are what Gato's men are like," replied Naruto, getting up. "I'm heading up to bed. I'll look for some information tomorrow," he said before heading up to bed. But Tazuna didn't get to finish because Naruto put him off. "Don't worry about me, but you should find some people to protect you, maybe a group of ninjas. Since Gato is after you, you need protection. I can only do so much." Tazuna, feeling like he can't change Naruto's mind, stopped trying. "Don't worry about that. I already sent out a mission and will be heading out tomorrow to pick up the team," he replied. "I'll try my best to protect your daughter, grandson, home and bridge, till you come back. Thank you again for allowing me and Akane to stay here." After that, Naruto went up to his and Akane's room so that he could sleep. Their room was actually a giant room that could probably fit around 10 people. They told him that this was the only room they had, since the small room were their room. Naruto wasn't complaining though, at least he found a place for him and Akane to sleep in. The next morning, Naruto was greeted by a little girl's face up close to his face. "Ah," he shouts, jumping from his sleeping position. He looked over to see Akane looking at him. "You shouldn't scare me like that, Akane-chan," he tells her. "Okay, hurry up and freshen up, then I'll introduce you to the owners of the inn, who let us stay here." "Okay, Naruto and I," she replied. He raised an eyebrow at the NII but decided not to ponder too much on it. Akane and Naruto both freshened up and went downstairs to see Tsunami, Tazuna and a little boy around the age of 7 or 8, at the dinner table. Tsunami was making breakfast. From what Naruto could see was eggs, bacon, and toast. Tazuna was currently packing things into a backpack, and had a straw hat on the side of the table. The little boy was sitting on the chair, a clean plate in front of him. He was staring down at it, not caring what is happening in the world around him. "Hello, Tsunami-san, Tazuna-san, here's the rent, pay for about a week or 2, said Naruto, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small bag full of money. He put it on the table near Tazuna. No, I can't take this," said Tazuna, giving Naruto back his bag of money. "It's only fair that I pay for how long I stay. Especially in times like these, I'm pretty sure that you need the money. After what you did for us yesterday, you can stay here for free," added Tsunami, putting breakfast on the 5 plates present. "Are you sure? At least take half, I don't want to be a burden." "Fine, we'll take half. Now let's eat some breakfast," grunted Tazuna. Man, was this boy stubborn. Naruto and Akane sat down. Naruto sat next to Akane, while Akane sat next to the boy. Naruto noticed him, asked, "Is that your kid, Swami-san?" "Yes, Naruto-san, his name is Irani," she replied, then turned her attention to Irani. "Inari, say hello to Naruto-san and Akane-chan." "Hello, Naruto-san, Akane-san," he greeted with a monotone voice. He quickly gave them a glance and went to get his breakfast and ate in silence. Tsunami and Tazuna frowned at their son/grandson behavior, though Naruto didn't care much about it. Though Akane was staring at the Inari, wondering why he is so sad. They got breakfast and ate. "So Tazuna-san, are you going to work, or something?" asked Naruto. Tazuna finished eating the piece of bacon before replying. "No, I'm getting ready to head to the village, to pick up the team that accepted my request, just like I told you yesterday," replied Tazuna, now attacking the eggs. Naruto nodded and went back to finish his breakfast. He didn't really want to know what village Tazuna was going to, since it wasn't his business. This was going to bite Naruto sooner or later. When everyone was done, they spent an hour or so preparing for Tazuna's trip and saying their goodbyes. Now Tazuna was outside waving at the people by the door, which consists Tsunami, Inari, Naruto, and Akane. "Alright guys, I'm heading off," he said. "I'll try my best to watch over your house and family until you come back," said Naruto. Tazuna only nodded and went on to his journey. When Tazuna's body faded away, the group went back into the house. Naruto looked over at the clock and noticed it was almost noon. He looked over at the people present. Tsunami was already baking lunch, while Inari apparently was gone. Akane was currently sitting on the couch though awkwardly. Should I find information on Gato, or wait till Tazuna comes back for Kami knows how long? He thought to himself, before decided to spend a little time trying to find as much information as he could. Tsunami-san, can you make lunch in a bento for me? I'm going to go out and find information on Gato. He asked. Tsunami replied, sure, giving him a smile. Thank you. Naruto then walked up to his room and got some things ready. He didn't notice Akane following him though. When he was done, he finally noticed Akane behind him. Naruto and I, where are you going? She asked him. I'm going to find information so that I can save your mommy, replied Naruto. Can I come with you? She asked, hope in her eyes. I'm sorry, I can't let you go with me. It's dangerous, I don't want anything to happen to you. Naruto replied. Akane frowned and tears started to form in her eyes, thinking Naruto will leave her, and she would be alone. Naruto felt heartbroken. Fine, how about when I come back I'll play with you, and maybe we can explore this country. Akane was instantly happy and nodded, making Naruto smile. Now then go play with Inari, he said to Akane. They both walked back into the kitchen to see Tsunami having a bento for Naruto. Here's the bento you asked for, but please be careful out there, she said. Naruto nodded and took the bento from Tsunami. Can you take care of Akane while I'm gone? Tsunami nodded and took hold of Akane's hand, which she gladly accepted. Naruto bent down to Akane. I'll try to be home as fast as I can. Then we can play after, he told her. Promise? She asked. Promise, and I never break my promises, he told her. He walked outside the house and into the main part of the village. Main village. Naruto was now walking through the village once again. It already been about 4 hours and he went back to the inns that had Gato men staying in. When he got there he was told they left. I'm sorry sir, but every morning they leave, said the male receptionist. I see, sorry for bothering you, Naruto replied and walked outside the inn. Once again nothing. He sighed. I heard you've been looking for information on Gato, said a mysterious figure. Naruto was instantly alerted and turned to his side to see an old man sitting at the side of the road. Yeah, you do have any information on him? Asked Naruto. Not much though, if that's fine with you, replied the old man. Better than nothing I've been getting. So, do you know why they all leave? Naruto asked. I'm not entirely sure, but from what I heard there's this meeting place that they go to, replied the man. Do you know why or what they do there? No, I'm sorry, but I can only guess. I think it's to check and see if they are doing their jobs, with the valuables, money, and probably women they collect. Do you know anything else? No, sorry kid. Thank you, sir. Naruto then started to walk away from the old man. Hey kid, called the man. Yeah? Asked Naruto, turning around to face the man. Just wondering though, but what do you plan to do? The old man asked. Nothing, Naruto simply replied and went on his way. Deciding he had enough information, he decided to go home. The old man smirked. Hope you luck on your journey, kid. Hey, who knows, maybe one day the kid will do some big things, the old man thought, not knowing that his thoughts may be true. Tazuna Inn. Naruto came home and was surprised by what he saw. Inari was happily playing with Akane. Tsunami was currently smiling while watching the two play with each other. What happened here? Asked Naruto, getting everyone's attention. Naruto and I, shouts Akane, running up to hug Naruto. Naruto returned the hug though was still confused. Truthfully, he thought Inari was going to be stuck up in his room, while Tsunami and Akane play with other. Let me explain, said Tsunami, getting Naruto's attention. Flashback. Akane was currently sitting by herself while Tsunami was preparing lunch. Akane was beyond bored. She was bored to the point that she thought she was dead. Akane, Inari lunch is ready, said Tsunami. Akane instantly got to the dinner table while Inari got out of his room looking depressed, slowly walking up to the table. Akane, getting annoyed of his sad look, decided to speak out. Hey, what's your problem? Why you look so sad all the time? She asked. Inari didn't pay any mind to her. Hey, look, I'm talking to you, she said once again. This time Inari spoke. It's none of your business, he simply said. I don't care, you're always sad. Cheer up. Inari had it with this girl. Leave me alone. You don't know the pain I have. You have your brother, while my two-san was killed. I bet you still have your parents, yelled Inari. Inari, stop it, yelled Tsunami. Irani didn't listen and looked at Akane angrily. Akane, though still small, had a slight brain to know what people are saying. My daddy was killed yesterday, and bad guys took my mommy away. I was alone until Naruto and I found me. You still have your grandpa and mommy. I know Naruto and I will help mind my mommy, he's strong. Akane argued back, yelling at Inari, tears in her eyes as she started to cry. Tsunami came over to comfort her, while Inari looked at her in shock. She had it worse than me, he thought before he went over to walk up to Akane and pat her on the back. I'm sorry, he said. Akane looked up at him and told him that it was all right. Flashback end. After that they started playing with each other. It was thanks to her that my son is happy again. I have to thank you again for coming here. You helped my son even if it wasn't intentional, said Tsunami. It's nothing really, don't worry about it, replied Naruto. So how was your search? Asked Tsunami. Naruto sighed, not good, I didn't get much information. Naruto then crouched down at Akane. Still want to play with me or you want to play with Inari? Asked Naruto. You promise you play with me, said Akane with a pout, thinking Naruto wasn't going to keep his promise. Naruto chuckled and picked Akane up. Alright, let's play outside. He then carried her outside. You can come too if you want, he told Inari. Inari smiled and followed after him. Tsunami smiled and went to watch them for a little bit before she prepared dinner for them. As Naruto carried Akane, his mind went into another direction. Maybe I can look in the concepts of Rasengan from the scroll I got from him. Man, I owe him a lot, freaking him and his copying skills, Naruto thought before turning his attention to Akane and started playing with the kids. Konoha 3 days after Tazuna left. Screw these D-rank missions. I want higher rank missions so I can prove my worth to Sasuke-kun, roared Sakura. She and her team, which consists of her beloved Uchiha Sasuke-kun and Narumi Uzumaki Namikaze, or just Uzumaki now, for some reason, she refused to take up the Namikaze name. The three of them together were the infamous Team 7 with Hatake Kakashi as their Jonin sensei. Right now they are going to the Hokage Tower to report another complete mission. Sakura leading the group, Sasuke and Narumi following behind her, and Kakashi at the end. Sakura giving glances at Sasuke, while Sasuke was being the brooding king as well as giving lecherous glances to Narumi. Narumi herself was glaring at Sasuke, ready to take out her katana and slice this brooding idiot to pieces. Kakashi wasn't paying much attention to his team, since he was deeply reading the orange book, much to Narumi's annoyance. It's been half a year since they passed the ninja exams at age 16. The age has been moved up because the village didn't want the next generation of ninjas to die in missions because they are young and inexperienced. Plus it was a time of peace for Konoha, so they didn't need to worry about war yet. They moved up the age so the academy students will have more time to train and get stronger before having a team and going on missions. Narumi had to cover her ears before they would go deaf. Damn it, woman, shut up! Narumi mentally yelled in her head. Narumi, now 16, grew up to be a beautiful woman. Though she was still growing, she developed a height of 5 feet 4 inches, and an impressive C-cup bust, and it was still growing. She had an angelic heart-shaped face, much like her mother Kushina, though the difference was that she had light blue eyes, unlike her mother gray eyes. Her hair grew out like her mother, except the yellow in her hair was more defined. Sometimes the only way people could tell the difference between Narumi and her mother Kushina were from the hair and eyes. She had a developing hourglass figure that can make both men and women die with nosebleeds. Narumi's skills has gotten better, though only a genin. She was overall a mid-chunin to high chunin. She got help from many people when they have free time and weren't on missions. With the help of Itachi, Anko, and sometimes Mikoto, her ninjutsu were low chunin. Kurenai helped her with her genjutsu, which was high genin, but she didn't excel in genjutsu. Her kenjutsu was her best area, much like her mother. With the help of her mother, and Yugao, she is now high chunin to low jounin in terms of kenjutsu and still improving. She has gotten a lot of help from them and is very grateful. After the event of her brother leaving, she felt as though it was her fault for the cause of his disappearance. She cried for days after he left. Her mom tried to comfort her but ended up crying along with her. She remembered when she first met the Kyuubi no Yoko. It was only a few days after Naruto's disappearance. Also the day she gained both the power and the soul of the Kyuubi. Flashback. Narumi was hit by a sudden white light, which entered into her seal. She woke up and found herself in a sewer, a giant steel cage in front of her. Keeping the cage together was a paper that had a kanji that said seal on it. "Where am I?" asked the little redhead to no one in particular. She started looking at her surrounding and noticed she was standing on water, but the room or area was dark except for the gate itself, but even then it was of a gray-greenish color. She was suddenly met by a giant red fox's face. Its eyes glaring daggers at her, making her flinch. It started to come out of the shadow to show more of its body. Narumi could see its giant sharp claws, its razor-sharp teeth, and 9 tails waving behind the body. "KKQB!" Narumi exclaimed, her eyes widened in shock but mostly fear. She thought she was going to die, even knowing for a fact that the Kyuubi was currently sealed away, making it nearly impossible for it to kill her, much less leave that K it was stuck in. "It seems my new/old jailer isn't as stupid as I thought she would be," said Yoko, still in her fox form. Narumi, still scared, tried her best to reply, What do you want with me? Nothing, really, just wanted to greet you, that's all, and say you were an idiot to try and use my powers. Narumi was mad because she was constantly called an idiot. What is that supposed to mean? The QB's presence sinking in, making it easier for her. I mean what I mean, you're stupid. My power is full of destructive power, darkness, and evil. If you tried to control it, you would have been consumed within the darkness and go mad. Without me, who can only control all that power, you would have gone mad if you tried to use its power more than you already have tried. How do you know that? Simple, really. The soul and the power must live together like sun and moon or yin and yang. If you split them up, then all you have is massive chakra, power, and no way to control it. They must live together like your own chakra and your soul or body. Narumi, even though young, could understand the basic concept. So I can't use your powers? Asked Narumi. Well, you can now, but I'm not going to let you. QB simply replied, making Narumi's eyes widen. What, why? That's because you're a spoiled brat. I have watched everything from Naruto-kun Seal. I saw the way you and your family treated him, and I am very disappointed in you and your mother Kushina. Narumi became sad when QB mentioned Naruto. She didn't even notice the kun suffix QB used on his name. She started rethinking about her actions towards Naruto and felt ashamed of herself. Then she realized something. Wait, if you're here, then that means she didn't get to finish because Yoko stopped her. Yes, he is dead, said Yoko sadly. Once he died, I was released and went back to my power. That is why I'm here. Yoko lied, but she didn't want her to know about Naruto yet, not until she was sure that Narumi really felt sorry. Truth be told, she slightly went through her mind or memory and was shocked to see her care for Naruto. These memories starting from a few years ago, but it would seem they weren't as strong, and her mind of a child that wanted attention would get the better of her. She lied only to test if her assumptions are correct, and decided whether or not Narumi deserved to know the truth. Now I'm going to take a nap, so don't bother me. Yoko went back into the cell to sleep and later observe her new container. Later, after, she cried herself even more, thinking she forever lost her Inai-chan and will never tell him how sorry she was. Flashback end. Eventually Yoko couldn't stand her being sad all the time and told her the truth. When Narumi heard it, she was overjoyed and vowed to become strong and find her Naruto and prove to him how strong she will become. She also wanted to find him and apologize and make up for her mistakes. Even after her vow and determination, and knowing the truth, she still cries from time to time. Yoko and her mother would comfort her. She wished she could have went back in time to fix her mistakes, so Naruto would still be with her. Her relationship with Yoko went up drastically. After her vowed Yoko would help her with her training. Even with their connecting relationship, Yoko wouldn't allow her to use her chakra because she didn't want her to depend on it. The only reason she was going to use Yoko's chakra is when she is in danger of dying, and that's it, as well as fast healing from time to time. She wanted Narumi to get stronger on her own and to only depend on her own power. Plus, she also had the feeling that she wouldn't be in Narumi forever. After, they would talk about things, and Yoko would tell her about Naruto, his treatment, training, mostly everything she knew about him. Though it wasn't much since they were young, Narumi couldn't help but be sad and fascinated. Sad because she was part of Naruto's pain, and fascinated because of the training Naruto did, and how strong he was even after the pain he endured. After the incident between her mother and father, and Yoko telling her about the village treatments to Naruto. When she heard this, she was mad, no, downright pissed off. She wanted to kill every civilian that hurt her Oni-chan. Then Yoko told her the person who was the cause of it all, her father Minato Namikaze. She had doubts at first, but when she asked her mother said it was true. After, she grew a hate for her father because he allowed her Oni-chan to get hurt, simply for the village. She realized that her father only cared about his Hokage position, and that the village came before family. Even now she notices that he doesn't care much about Naruto. After Naruto's disappearance, he just went on with his Hokage duties. Now she hates her father with a passion. She refused to take up the Namikaze name, saying that she didn't have any relations with him. Even then, it is only a name that she can get rid of, not the blood that runs in her. Being the last Namikaze, she was trained by Minato to learn the clan's secrets, techniques, and skills, as well as controlling the Kyuubi's chakra, seeing as she needed it, but she knew it was to train the village weapon. That part of training only caused to be a failure for Minato, since it seems to never work, which annoyed him to no end. She would avoid talking to him, giving him glares or just emotionless glances at him. During their training, she would only do what he told her, and after, left. She was always cautious of him since he was a Funijutsu master, so he could put a Funijutsu on her that can do whatever he wanted. At the moment, he hasn't done anything yet, but you can never be too sure. The villagers cheered after Naruto's disappearance, saying the demon was finally gone. It angered her that people were cheering the disappearance or death of someone who saved their village. After both Kushina and Narumi left Minato, a lot of the villagers were mad, some saying that they were influenced by the demon and should return back to Hokage-sama. Though they didn't listen to them. Some villagers once assaulted Narumi, but she quickly scared them off, and they never tried to assault her again. She now lives alone with her mother, Kurenai Yugao, and Anko. At first they were skeptical, but after Kurenai Yugao and Anko explained that they helped Naruto train and didn't hurt him like the others, they welcomed them with open arms. The reason the three wanted to stay with Kushina and Narumi is because they hated the village treatment and wanted to help Kushina and Narumi as much as possible. Kurenai and Yugao wanted to help their sensei because they deeply respected her. Also, the three were getting tired of mistreatment, mostly Anko. Yugao and Kurenai have their fair share for being the snake bitch friend. The three of them also only got look of lust from the male population, something that annoyed them greatly, seeing as the males only wanted to get into their pants and most likely leave them. They decided that they should stay together and wanted to stay with their sensei. They now live in a small house with the help of all of them paying together. They all helped each other and helped keep the house clean and safe. Throughout the years living together, she has gotten close to all of them, including her mother, Mikoto, and somewhat Itachi. For reasons unknown, even when he doesn't have any missions, he would disappear and come back later that night. Though disliked by some because of leaving their Hokage and being influenced by the demon, she was still a very beautiful woman, and many men varying from her age group all the way to even middle-aged men would give her lecherous glances, which disgusted her to no end. It didn't help that her mother was viewed a hero because of her past accomplishments in the previous Shinobi War and stopping the Uchiha Rebellion. In truth, she was getting revenge on those that hurt Naruto, which she was glad of. They deserved it for constantly hurting Naruto. Also, her mother is one of the most wanted bachelorette in Konoha and probably all of the Elemental Nation. Being the daughter of two well-known heroes, she was sought by many her age. She had a fan club, something that she truly hated since it was annoying as hell. There are many times when she was asked out to my guys, which she flat out rejected, killing their hopes, even rejected nobles that proposed/asked her out. Though there were some that were very persisting. One person is Brood King, Duck-ass Hair, Uchiha Sasuke. The arrogant fool cannot take no as an answer for some reason. He always demanded her that she had to marry him to restore his almighty clan, and that he was an Uchiha, an elite, that she has to listen to him. She wondered how he and Itachi were related, since he had a stick so up his ass, and Itachi was kind and helpful. There wasn't anyone in Konoha that has ever gotten her interest. There was one person who has, but that person was out of her reach. The thing is, she hasn't met him in a long time. Yes, that's right, it was her Oni-chan, Uzumaki Naruto. True, a relationship like this isn't right, but after talking to her mom, she said it was okay to have these feelings for Naruto. She even told her that many clans have incest to keep their bloodlines alive. How these feelings started was when she and Yoko would have their talk. After Yoko's stories of Naruto, she couldn't help but be marveled by Naruto. She liked and admired how strong and smart Naruto was. As time continued, the feeling only grew and grew. Sometimes when she's sleeping, she would imagine an older Naruto around her age. An handsome blonde man, that was Naruto. Now all Narumi does is D-ranked missions, train with her team, if it's even called a team. After, she would go home and train with her mom, Yugao, Kurenai, or Anko, whoever was home and wasn't away with mission to get money for the family, as they call themselves now. At least 3 times a week she would train with her team to improve their non-existing teamwork. It was a horrible team. One, you have the duck-ass hair Sasuke boasting about his elite Uchiha, how he is unstoppable or something. Then their hopeless fangirl holler pink hair girl you can scream from Konoha and you can hear it all the way from Kumo. Then there's Kakashi, the perverted lazy ass who trains Sasuke pretty much. Anyways, enough of Narumi, let's go back to the storyline. Team 7 was currently in front of the Hokage's door. Narumi sighed before Sakura opened the door to the Hokage's office. There, sitting down on the chair, was Minato, Namikaze, and an old man. Everyone glanced at the old man for a second and paid their attention to Minato. Team 7 mission success, Minato-sensei, said Kakashi. Sasuke was brooding in a corner, Sakura gazing at his coolness, and Narumi was giving Minato an emotionless look. Minato sighed. He had gotten used to that look after the disappearance of that child. How he wished to have that child back so he can get back his family and his image. It's because of that child Kushina found out about everything. He just sighed and put it to the back of his mind. Truthfully, he didn't really care. As long as he was Hokage, he didn't need to worry about small things like those. The village came first, and that's what he needs to do, to ensure that the village is safe and on top. That's great to hear, Team 7. Report here tomorrow and you'll have another mission, replied Minato. Kakashi nodded while Sakura frowned. Hokage-sama, but can we have a C-ranked mission? I mean, we already completed over 200 D-ranked missions, asked Sakura, hoping she'd get a yes. Minato pulled out a scroll, which were Team 7 records. Minato was examining its record. It seems you are correct. Fine, then, hope that you can handle this. This man here, his name is Tazuna, and he needs an escort to Nami no Kuni. This is a C-ranked mission, do you want to accept? Asked Minato. Sure, I think my team can handle it, replied Kakashi with a nice smile. Minato nodded and looked over to Tazuna, who nodded. Sakura squealed at having the chance to prove herself to Sasuke. Sasuke just huffed, and Narumi sighed. After they walked outside with Tazuna. Okay team, we will be meeting at the gates the next morning, and remember to pack for at least a week, said Kakashi before disappearing in a shunshin. Narumi went back to her home as fast as she could, while Sakura tried to ask Sasuke out only to get rejected. Narumi's house. Narumi finally reached home and noticed that her mother was home. She was currently lying on the couch reading a magazine on cooking. Hello Kasan, I'm home, said Narumi. Kushina stopped reading and sat up looking at Narumi. Kushina somehow still looked the same as she did 7 years ago, with little changes. Though around the 30s she looked as though she is only around 25. Still having her goddess figure, and perfectly heart-shaped face. Her long beautiful maroon hair reaching all the way down to lower legs. Her impressive bust somehow seems to grow into a D-cup to DD-cup bust. She was what most women envy and most men die for. Hello Narumi-chan, how was your day? Asked Kushina. It was okay, normal, another successful mission, training, pretty much, replied Narumi. Though today Sakura asked for a C-rank mission, and tomorrow is going to be my first C-rank mission, said Narumi, explaining the details of the mission to Kushina. Kushina smiled at her daughter. That's great Narumi-chan. Hope you luck on your mission, and don't worry, I think you're strong, you can handle it, if you need help you know what to do, she said, which Narumi nodded sadly. Kushina noticed this and hugged her. I know, me too, but don't worry, he is out there somewhere. We will see him eventually, replied Kushina. How would you know, Kasan? The last time I saw him was 8 years ago. All I can do is believe he is still alive, and that I can see him again. Narumi started crying. She missed him a lot, even knowing he was alive didn't help since that information was from a long time ago. She kept on thinking that he would be fine, but her mind sometimes thought of scenarios where something happened to Naruto while he was traveling. Trust me, Musum. He's safe and strong, he can take care of himself. Comfort Kushina. True, she missed Naruto as well as worry about him. She knew he was safe, she was positive he was safe. There was a secret she had and wanted to tell her daughter but hasn't told her yet. Should I tell her? Kushina thought to herself. No, not yet, not until I get his opinion first. Narumi nodded and said, alright, Kasan, want to make dinner together? Kushina smiled and nodded. Narumi and Kushina made dinner and waited for the rest of the family to come home so they can eat together. When they came, Narumi told them the news and they congratulated her. After they ate, and Narumi went to her room to pack for the mission tomorrow, and went to sleep early. Morning, village gate. The next morning Narumi waited with Tazuna for her team. She came an hour earlier than the supposed time, so she waited. They talked for a little bit, getting to know each other. Narumi learned that Tazuna has a daughter and grandson, and owns an inn. While Tazuna learned a little bit about Narumi, wasn't much though. Sasuke and Sakura came an hour later, and Kakashi 2 or 3 hours later. It annoyed her how late he was all the time. Alright, let's go, said Kakashi. Thus the 5 of them left Konoha, and were heading to Nami no Kuni, not knowing what will happen when they get there. I'll prove my worth to Sasuke-kun, thought Sakura, looking at Sasuke, and frowned when she saw him look at Narumi. I'll make you my wife and we will restore my clan, thought Sasuke. Haha, yeah right. I wondering how the Gaki doing, thought Tazuna, thinking back to Naruto and hoping he will. He couldn't wait to see him. Narumi looked up to the sky. Naruto and I miss you. I wish I can see you again, she told herself. Unknown to her, her wish may come true. 3 days after Tazuna left, Naruto was currently walking through the streets of Wave, hoping to find a direct lead to Gato. It was just after 3 in the morning, and the streets were completely empty. Naruto hadn't slept at all that night. After the receptionist at that one inn told him that Gato's men always left before dawn, and after receiving the tip from the mysterious old man that they always seemed to meet as a group somewhere in the early morning hours, Naruto tried to catch 1 or 2 of Gato's goons, but he was always too late. Out of options, he decided to stay awake and stake the inn out, hoping to catch sight of Gato's thugs as they came out. As he reached the inn, Naruto chose a crate in the alleyway to the side of the building as his stakeout spot. He would just have to wait for Gato's men to come out. Stakeouts were probably the most boring task that a shinobi could perform. Even guard duty was preferable, as that was usually done with 2 or more, so at least you could talk to someone while you were performing your duty. Stakeouts were best done solo, and even if someone was staking the area of recon out with you, you had to remain quiet so that you could remain undetected. Feeling himself beginning to nod off, he made a Kage Bunshin to keep watch from the alley while he quietly jumped up to the roof of the inn to catch a short nap. It was still dark out when the clone released itself, giving what it learned to Naruto. The clone had heard the sounds of early rising activity from several people within the inn. Naruto realized that this was probably from Gato's thugs waking up and getting ready for their little meeting. He shook off his drowsiness, crept over to the side of the roof, and looked down, taking care to stay just out of sight just in case one of Gato's men chanced to look upward. He noticed 4 burly, rough-looking men strutting out the front door of the inn like they owned the place. No doubt about it, these were the men he was looking for. Well, I sure am glad I didn't sleep the entire night. As much as I hate stakeouts, if I hadn't done this, I never would have caught sight of these guys, Naruto thought to himself in gratitude and relief, both that the stakeout was over and that he finally had a lead to Gato. His stakeout successful, it was now time to tail them and see where they led him. Forest 3 miles from village. Naruto followed the group he was tailing for what he estimated to be an hour or so, if the light from the coming dawn was any indicator. He didn't even have to take to the trees. All he did was walk a good enough distance away from them to keep out of their sight or hearing, yet close enough so that his own trained senses could easily pinpoint them. It wasn't hard as they didn't really check their surroundings. He guessed that they probably didn't see a reason to do so, as the village had been sufficiently cowed in the time they had occupied it to keep anyone from trying anything brave. After seeing that they had stopped, Naruto slowed his movement, keeping quiet while finding a hiding spot up in a tree, about 80 feet above them. Sending a little chakra to his eyes and ears to enhance his sight and hearing, he looked down and concentrated on the sounds coming from the clearing. A group of 15 men, including the 4 that Naruto had tailed here, were all in a circle, surrounding several women, all tied up on the ground and gagged, whimpering and crying in fear as the men surrounding them taunted and harassed them, laughing sadistically all the while. Knowing that the best option for now was to stay out of sight, Naruto continued watching and listening, gathering intel while waiting for his chance to strike and help those women. Whine all you want, bitches. No one is coming to save you. You're lucky that the boss ordered us to bring you to him unspoiled, said one of the men with an evil smirk. The way the man said unspoiled told Naruto that these men would likely have raped them all given half the chance. He began to get very angry, but held himself in check, knowing that jumping in now and killing them all would be counterproductive. He might save these women, but he'd be no closer to knowing where Gato was holed up. And more men would be sent to collect these women anyway, probably while killing some villagers just to make sure nobody tried anything like that again. He continued to listen in and watch. Another group of 5 men showed up a few minutes later with a horse-drawn cage wagon. Right on time, said the man who had spoken earlier. Not a bad batch this week, huh, Boten? Asked the leader of the other group. This week? So they collect women on a weekly basis, then why meet daily? Naruto pondered to himself, while continuing to observe. That's right, Taro. Gato-sama will be a happy man this week, said the now identified Boten, again with that evil smirk as he turned to his men and ordered, All right, boys. Load them up. The others followed his order and began dragging each of the now hysterical women to their feet and towards the cage wagon as one of Taro's men opened the cage gate. Seeing the way that these men were handling the women, fondling them forcefully while dragging them to that cage caused Naruto's anger to swell into rage. Decided that enough was enough, he jumped down from his position and landed in the clearing between the wagon and the group dragging the women, blocking their path. Wait, what? I thought you weren't followed. Taro shouted in anger and surprise. We weren't. Boten shouted, just as surprised as Taro was. Grya whatever. Just kill him. Taro shouted in frustration. They released their hold on their captives, shoving them to the ground, and all 20 of them readied their blades, mostly knives and daggers, though Taro and Boten had chikutos, and charged at Naruto. Naruto smirked and jumped as one of them swiped at him, causing him to stumble and fall to the ground as he lost his balance. Naruto took the opportunity and landed on the man's back with his hand, pinning him there. The other men were still charging at him. Naruto overlapped his hands in a counterclockwise fashion, which made his body start spinning. He spread his legs in a perfect 180-degree split and started making his body spin with his hands, kicking all the men that were charging at him with his spinning kick. Naruto then pushed himself off the man he was on to do a flip, kicking that man on the side of his head in the process, knocking him unconscious. Naruto landed on his feet and looked behind him. 5 of them were down, including the man he had just gotten off of. Arg! One of them yelled, charging at Naruto with his dagger, Take this, you little bastard! He slashed at Naruto sloppily, with Naruto easily dodging the attack just by moving his upper body. The man continued slashing, only to have Naruto easily dodge and sidestep the attacks with minimal effort and a smirk of amusement, enraging the man and causing his slashes to become even sloppier. Naruto noticed 3 more coming from behind the man attacking him. He quickly ducked a slash that was aimed at his head, and in the same motion, Naruto swept the man's legs out from under him with such speed that the man seemed to float in the air for a few brief moments. Quickly, before the man could even touch ground, Naruto kicked the man into the other 3 charging at him. The man flew into the 3 really hard, sending them flying towards a rather thick tree. They hit the tree with enough force to create indentations in its trunk before they all crumpled to the ground, unconscious and twitching. Naruto looked out the corners of both eyes as his Tusan had taught him when fighting multiple attackers, and noticed that a man was charging him from the left, while another was charging him from the right, hoping to catch him in a pincer-style attack. Noticing also that both men were aiming to attack his upper body, Naruto ducked to dodge their blows. He then crouched and tensed his legs before pushing himself upwards while sending the palms of each hand into the jaw of each attacker, sending them upwards into the air. Naruto then jumped up and kicked both of them simultaneously to 4 others in mid-charge, taking down 6 in total. Naruto looked at the remaining 5. They were a distance away and were cautiously looking at Naruto. "Come on, let's kill this punk. He can't take us all at once," yelled Boten, despite what he had just seen. Before they could even move, however, Naruto was in front of them so fast that they could have sworn he teleported to them. The sudden movement shocked them. Before they could even ponder what had just happened, Naruto punched and kicked them in the stomach, knocking them out. Well, that takes care of the Naruto didn't finish as he was slashed at the face. Naruto easily dodged the attack, making it slash his cheek and making it bleed. Naruto turned to face the last man, seeing that it was Taro. Naruto briefly cursed himself for being so careless and miscounting, guessing that the man hid from his presence to attack him when he didn't notice. Naruto and Taro faced off in front of each other, both of them standing only a few feet apart. As Naruto sized up his single remaining adversary, a thought occurred to him: maybe I can get some more intel out of this one. Taro made the first move to try and slash Naruto again, but Naruto instantly vanished and reappeared a few yards away from the man. In the next instant, Naruto vanished and reappeared again in front of Taro, quickly kneeing him in the stomach and making him drop his sword. Naruto then grabbed his arm, pulled it behind his back and twisted, causing his shoulder to strain just to stay in place. "Now tell me where Gato is," demanded Naruto, locking Taro's arm behind him with the one hand while holding a kunai against his neck with the other. "I don't know," replied Taro, trying to get free as his captor's grip on his arm tightened, threatening to tear his shoulder from his socket. "Don't lie to me. Tell me where he is," Naruto demanded again, bringing the kunai closer to Taro's neck, opening a small cut and making blood drip down. Taro, now frightened for his life, and grunting through the pain in his shoulder, responded, "I'm not lying. I really don't know. My job is to bring the captives to someone else, who just takes them off my hands and I go on my way. I don't know who it'll be, because it's a different guy from week to week, but I would guess that whoever I give them to takes the girls to Gato from there. They always contact me with details of where to meet, and it's never the same place twice. I'm due to get a message from someone, tomorrow, but if they see something wrong, they automatically turn around and tell Gato, so you can't wait and attack them." Naruto gritted his teeth, then punched the man in the stomach, knocking him out. Once again, nothing, thought Naruto angrily, cursing himself once more, this time for losing his cool and not letting the situation play itself out before he stepped in. He turned to look at the women whom he had freed. Well, it wasn't a total loss. At least I saved them, he thought, in an effort to lift his own spirits despite his impetuous actions. As he walked over to the group of captive women, they all tried to move away from him. "Please don't be afraid. I'm not here to hurt any of you," said Naruto softly and calmly, a reassuring smile crossing his features while he made slow, deliberate movements so as not to frighten them any more than they already were. Upon seeing his smile, and the compassion in his eyes that was absent in the eyes of their captors, they all relaxed. Some of them blushed when they took in Naruto's appearance. When he reached them, he slowly and carefully removed their gags and untied their bindings. Each woman thanked him profusely upon being untied, all hugging him, some of them kissing him in gratitude. Naruto just took it in stride, grinning and chuckling sheepishly at their overtures. After he had released them all, he helped them to their feet. After making sure that they were all unharmed, he offered, "Let's get all of you back home, huh? I'll walk you back to make sure you don't get captured again." The women all nodded in acceptance, this time not a single one without a blush and a dreamy smile at their handsome savior. One of the girls, seeing the gash on Naruto's face, searched the unconscious bandits to see if any of them by chance had a first aid kit. One of them did, and she was able to clean Naruto's gash and disinfect it before patching it up with some gauze and medical tape. Once she had finished with Naruto's cut, Naruto walked back towards the village with all of them at a leisurely pace. None of those girls could have imagined that getting captured by Gato's goons could have had such a pleasant ending for them. 3 hours later. It was noon by the time Naruto had finished bringing the girls back to their families, taking each of them home one at a time, and never leaving their side until the very last one was safe and sound. He had returned 9 of the women to their families, and the only one still in his care was a young, yet mature beauty with long black hair, porcelain skin and slate-gray eyes. Naruto guessed her age to be within her late 20s to early 30s. He certainly wasn't about to ask. Her clothes were ragged and dirty, probably from being held as a captive. Excuse me, ma'am, but where do you live? Asked Naruto. At this question, the woman lost her smile and became downcast. It wouldn't matter anyways. I think they killed my husband, and my daughter was probably taken away, she replied, with tears in her eyes. Naruto tried his best to comfort her, bringing her into an embrace and allowing her to cry herself out. As he was doing this, he thought about what she just told him, and about the scene that met him upon his initial arrival to this village. By any chance would Akane happen to be your daughter's name? Asked Naruto. The lady's eyes widened as she brought her tear-stained face out of Naruto's chest to look at Naruto with a hopeful expression. Yes, she is, but how do you know her? She asked, the desperation apparent in her voice. Actually, I came here about 2 days ago and saw your husband. I'm afraid I arrived too late to save him, but he told me about you and Gato before he passed. I then saw Akane and brought her with me, since I couldn't leave her alone. We made sure to give your husband the dignity of a proper burial, replied Naruto. After hearing this, the lady was overjoyed that her daughter was alive and safe. Can you tell me where Akane is right now? Sure, she is staying in Tazuna's inn. The bridge builder Tazuna? Yup. His daughter Tsunami is taking care of her. I am also staying there until I find Gato. Thank you. The lady forgot to ask for his name before they talk. Naruto. My name is Naruto, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto-san, for everything. My name is Hitomi Sato. Please forgive me for not introducing myself to you sooner. I don't think I could ever repay the kindness you've shown me and my family. Please think nothing more of it. I'm just glad you are safe, replied Naruto. Naruto-san, you've done so much for me already, but could you do me one last favor? Sure, what is it? Can you show me my husband's grave, please? Naruto smiled warmly. Sure, I can. I'd be happy to. Naruto then took Hitomi to her husband's grave, which was by their house. When they arrived, Hitomi stepped forward to get a closer look at the gravesite. It was a simple burial, with a flower on top of where the body was buried. At the top was a thick